takes your information. Well, it's hard to find a tech company that don't. But let me introduce you to one. Shout out to my sponsor, Venice AI, which allows you to protect your information and avoid censorship. Now ask yourself, why should a team of programmers at these leading AI apps be the ones to decide what is okay for you to ask and think? Also, would you be comfortable if the presidential administration could govern what AI tells you? Man, I know I wouldn't. But also, while you think about that, did you know that? Let me tell you this, it's gonna be crazy, but ChatGPT has a former director of the NSA sitting on their board right now, guys. And shout out to that man, Edward Snowden. He called this a willful, calculated betrayal of the rights of every person on Earth. And we all know how Alexa is. Alexa listens to us and recommends products based on our conversations. I mean, talk about a violation of privacy. But guys, these are just a few reasons I decided to team up with Venice AI and get you a better options or solutions to your AI needs. Now, guys, you can go ahead and check these guys out with my promo code. So shout out to Venice AI. Now, if you want to use AI without fear of handing over your most intimate thoughts to a corporation or government, you can get 20% off a pro plan using my link, Venice AI S.E.T, and use the code S.E.T. Man, so shout out, guys. So make sure you guys use the code. Put it up one more time for you guys right there. Once again, guys, if you guys want to go ahead and have unleashed AI, uncensored AI, go ahead and tap in with my guys at Venice AI, guys. Hey, this is S.E.T and appreciate the support. And shout out to the sponsor. Yo, and we are live. Yo, this is S.E.T with S.E.T Media, guys, and I'm back with another one for you. All right, we're about to get into the UK. Well, the US and UK came up with some trade prosperity deals. So we're going to get into the works of that. Also, we're going to get into Candace Owens addressing some rumors about, well, her and Charlie Kirk and their friendship. And on the Dems, well, they're still losing their mind about Jimmy Kimmel, and now they're coming up with it being a corporate plot to sponsor a buyout.
Mr. President, it's a pleasure to welcome you to Chequers. This historic second state visit is a moment to celebrate the unique bond between our two countries. But today we've gone far beyond that. We've renewed the special relationship for a new era. The United Kingdom and the United States stand together today as first partners on defense, first partners in trade with the groundbreaking deal we struck in May, and now with the new agreement that we've just signed this afternoon. We're confirming our status as the first partners in science and technology, ready to define this century together, just as we did the last. This tech partnership has the power to change lives. It's our chance to ensure that technologies like AI, quantum, and others amplify human potential, solve problems, cure diseases, make us richer and freer, strengthen the cause of democracy, not tyranny. This is the territory on which the future will be won. So this partnership today is a signal of our determination to win this race together and to ensure it brings real benefits in jobs, in growth, in lower bills, to put more hard-earned cash in people's pockets at the end of each month. That's what we're determined to deliver. And we're bringing businesses with us. We've just come from a fantastic meeting with business leaders where we set out this vision. They have responded with new deals and investment, breaking every record that we have. £250 billion flowing both ways across the Atlantic. That is a record.
And that is true. U.S. companies pledge major investments in the UK. Microsoft, Google, NVIDIA, OpenAI, and others will put money into the AI infrastructure in the UK. And of course, ours as well, including data centers and research labs. And according to Rhetoric,
expected to create 15,000 jobs here in the United Kingdom. High-skilled jobs in cutting-edge sectors where people can build careers for the long term, changing lives in communities up and down our country.
Yep, and it's estimated to add at least 15,000 jobs in the UK. At least.
And look, while we shape this bond for a new era, the fundamentals have not changed. Security remains the cornerstone of this special relationship. We have the deepest, most advanced defense relationship in the world. Our warriors train together and they fight together. Our industries build together, everything from fast jets to the new AUKUS-class submarines. So now, as we drive up defense spending, we're going to sweep away the barriers to working together on new defense technologies so we can stay ahead of our adversaries. We're united in defense and security. Yes, absolutely. But we're also united in the pursuit of peace. We are working together to end the humanitarian catastrophe in the Middle East, get the aid in, free the hostages, and ultimately bring Israel and the region back towards a comprehensive plan which can deliver peace and security for Israelis and Palestinians alike.
I don't know, Starmer. I mean, I believe that you're for that, but over here in the U.S., I mean, I wish. When it comes to Israel, you know, I have my criticisms on what Trump allows them to do. So in the UK, yes, you want that. You want that, Starmer. Trump, not so much.
We're also working.
Oh God, let's remember to double tap that screen, like the video, guys. Let's get more people in on the conversation by double tapping that screen.
Working together to end the killing in Ukraine. In recent days, Putin has shown his true face, mounting the biggest attacks since the invasion began, with yet more bloodshed, yet more innocents killed, and unprecedented violations of NATO airspace. These are not the actions of someone who wants peace. So we've discussed today how we can build our defenses further, support Ukraine, and decisively increase the pressure on Putin to get him to agree a peace deal that will last. And President Trump, you have led the way here, and we will continue to stand and work together for security and for peace. Mr. President, next year we'll celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States. We've come on a long journey together since 1776. But it's no exaggeration to say that the partnership our two nations have built has shaped the world from the beaches of Normandy to the founding of NATO, to the creation of technologies that have revolutionized our lives. Time and time again, it is British and American men and women side by side, changing the path of history and turning it towards our values, towards freedom, democracy, and the rule of law. In Britain, we take huge pride in that. And let's be clear,
Really?
This relationship is not just about history, it's about the future. It's about the benefits it delivers now and for decades to come, to make our people safer and better off. We've shown today that we're delivering those benefits, improving people's lives. So we will go into that anniversary year more optimistic than ever and more confident than ever about our two great nations and what they can achieve side by side. Thank you. And it is now my pleasure to give the floor to Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you very much, very much.
All right.
Prime Minister Starmer, Melania and I are tremendously thankful for the wonderful hospitality that you and Lady Starmer have extended today at Chequers. Quite the place, I must say, quite the place. And we're grateful beyond words for the spectacular honor of the state visit yesterday at Windsor Castle, hosted by His Majesty King Charles III and Her Majesty Queen Camilla. These are two fantastic people. We will never forget it. As I said last night, the bond between our countries is like no other anywhere in the world. The United States and the United Kingdom have done more good on this planet than any two nations in human history. That is thanks in large part to the traditions of British liberty, which grew up on these isles, these beautiful, magnificent isles, and were carried by our ancestors to the New World. We're forever joined, and we are forever friends, and we will always be friends. This enduring connection is why I was thrilled that the United Kingdom was the very first country with which we made a historic trade deal, and a very good trade deal. He's a tough negotiator. I think it was a better deal for you than us, but these are minor details.
It's a very good deal for both of us.
He's a great negotiator who will extend our unparalleled security alliance into the realm of economic security for the first time, and I look forward to finalizing it very soon. We'll have it done very quickly. We have also just signed a historic technology prosperity deal, one of a kind, to ensure our countries lead the next great technological revolution side by side. In fact, we just left the business leaders, the biggest in the world. Some are in this room right now. And that was quite a meeting we had on business and trade and technology. This trip has galvanized $350 billion in deals across many sectors, and we're committed to ensuring that the UK has a secure and reliable supply of the best AI hardware and software on Earth. And we supply that, and we'll make sure we supply it in
So pretty much within this tech prosperity deal, it does seem like the UK is trying to pretty much join us in the AI race, or join our team in the AI race against, of course, you know, China and Russia and you know, all of our adversaries. So yeah, this is actually a pretty good thing. And it works out well because both sides get jobs. Both of the major companies are working with both countries. The only problem here is what I've been reading up is the, well, implementation. Sorry, but pretty much pushing it through, pretty much laying down the groundwork for it. This is what a lot of people are casting doubt on. And honestly, in my personal opinion, I think it's heading in the good direction. And it's not going to take that much for these AI companies to get things started in America. That's not the problem. The problem is the regulatory situation in the UK. So getting data centers and all that good stuff to pop up in America, we've already worked on that with our EPA. The problem is, well, UK willing to do the same thing?
Quantity to the UK. And we also are joining forces on quantum computing and nuclear power, a natural partnership for close allies. The United States, as you probably have heard, is doing better than it has ever done in terms of business and investment. The stock market has hit a new high, as you know, and that's for many, many days out of our fairly short 8 months. And we seem to be hitting new highs, and I think we're going to do much better even as time goes by. Jobs are at a record, and most importantly, we have more than $17 trillion, $17 trillion, and this is during an 8-month period being invested in the country, which is not only a record, but if you compare $17 trillion to the last year of the Biden administration, they did $250 billion. They didn't do $1 trillion for the 4-year period. We did $17 trillion of investment coming in. A lot of it's because of tariffs, and a lot of it's for a lot of other reasons, but there's never been anything like it. It's an economic superstar. That's what's become. It was mismanaged and badly handled for a long period of time, but it's not badly handled anymore. So that's a record. And remember, that's up until 8 months. We have another few months to go, and that number is going to get significantly higher, especially if we win a certain case that we're waiting to hear. That will be something like the world has never seen. I want to congratulate the United Kingdom on making the vital commitment to spend 5% of GDP on defense at the NATO summit this year. We've worked together very closely in so many ways. I'm very honored to tell you that we've solved.
And that's one of the many achievements of Trump, is that he was able, one, to get these NATO countries to boost their military spending from 2%. I mean, a lot of these guys wouldn't even make it to 2%. Not only did he get them to get to the 2%, but he's also pushing them for 5% of military spending, or use their GDP on military spending. And guess where they're going to buy the weapons from? Us, the best weapon maker in the world. It's really not too much to be proud of, but hey, it's making us money now, is it not?
Seven wars that were unsolvable, wars that couldn't be negotiated or done. The U.S. has done 7 of them. The one that I thought would be easiest would be because of my relationship with President Putin, but he's let me down. He's really let me down. It was going to be Russia and Ukraine, but we'll see how that turns out. But that turned out to be, I thought it might be among the easiest of the group, but we had settled just about every conflict. And as you know, we're working very hard on Israel and Gaza. Well, that's happening over there. Complex, but it's going to get done.
And shout out to my man Ham for sending in 2 jewels. Appreciate the support, my man. All you guys go ahead and send any questions, comments, jokes, or disagreements, $2 and up. I'll be happy to read it out loud and engage with it. And if you just want to go ahead and throw pennies into the buckets, which, hey, I don't mind at all, you can go ahead and send in a gift.
Get done right. And likewise, Russia and Ukraine will get done. But you never know in war. You know, war is a different thing. Things happen that are very opposite of what you thought. You thought you were going to have an easy time or a hard time, and it turns out to be the reverse. As we saw in the unforgettable parade yesterday at Windsor Castle, what a place it is. The British Armed Forces carry on one of the finest military traditions in the world, one of the greatest marching bands, one of the most magnificent sights I've seen. I know that our service members look forward, and we do look so forward to working even more closely with yours as you push toward that 5% goal. And I think, Mr. Prime Minister, you're just about there. You're going to be there very quickly, along with a lot of other great countries. I want to thank NATO and our wonderful head of NATO, who's really worked very hard, Mark, for the job they've done. As you know, NATO is at 2% GDP, and they didn't pay it.
And like I said, I necessarily don't agree with this, but hey, look, the more they spend on military, the more we make. And I'm in terms of NATO, the more they spend on military, the more we make. And that's because they're buying weapons from us. And they want to go ahead and support Ukraine, that losing war that they want to support so badly. And they want to go ahead and buy weapons from us and send it to them. And you know what? Let them go ahead and do it. Hey, for 2 years, we were doing it for free. Okay, let us get paid.
Now they're at 5%, then they pay it.
Oh, and shout out to my man Monty on my way to Arizona for Charlie Kirk's funeral. Hey, man, shout out to my man Monty. Man, damn near representing S.E.T Media at this point. Appreciate the support, my man Monty, and man, be safe out there.
And we appreciate that. And we're sending a lot of weapons to NATO. NATO is paying for those weapons in full. But we're sending them, and we're doing a great job at getting them what they need. And we appreciate the fact that they're taking care of, because the United States is into that war for $350 billion. And it just really very sad. It just got out of control. They didn't know what they were doing. But over the generations, British and American warriors have shed their blood side by side in defense of liberty and freedom. And that's why it's so imperative that the United States and the United Kingdom stand together for these fundamental rights and values of the English-speaking world. And we've always stood together, and we will continue to. Just last week, a great American, Charlie Kirk, was heinously assassinated for speaking his mind. He was a great young man, incredible future. Some people said he might be president someday. I told him, I said, Charlie, I think you have a good shot someday at being president. And he just wanted to take care of youth. He loved youth. I've never seen anybody relate to youth like Charlie, and they related.
Yeah, that's why one of the reasons he had a really good shot of being president, because one, he already had the youth. And I'm talking about people in my age. Like I'm about 30. He had people from the 35, 40 and down. Like people underestimate his reach by saying he was just for the young people. Like, trust me. A lot of people in their 40s love Charlie Kirk and going down. He definitely did speak to the youth as well, because those are mainly the people showing up to his debates. So shout out Charlie Kirk, and man, RIP to the man. Because like I said, that bro, 31 years old, it's too sad. It really is. In 4 years, just give my man 4 years, he would have been our president. I mean, it had almost been a shoo-in for the man, or he'd have just been the most likely Republican candidate.
Him, and they're devastated. But I appreciate the many British citizens who have offered their condolences. And again, Charlie was a great person. We'll be going out to a service on Sunday. I'll be leaving with some of the people in this room just to celebrate Charlie and all that he's done. So incredible. Never seen anything like it. But I hope that together our nations can lead a movement to defend the glorious traditions of freedom.
Shout out my man Monty. He says, Monty, S.E.T Media's West Coast correspondent. Oh, yeah, that would be, hey, shout out Monty. But if you do get some good footage, man, let me know. And like I said, hopefully no agitators show up so you don't got to beat nobody's ass, okay?
On both sides of the Atlantic, there could be no greater tribute to the immortal bonds of affection and loyalty that unite the British and the American people for all of time. We have a relationship like no other. It will always be that way. We will always be united. We'll always be together. And I just want to thank you, Mr. Prime Minister, for the great job I think you're doing. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We're going to take some questions. I'll call 2 or 3 to start with, and then I'll pass over to
Sure. All right, let's
the
get
President.
to the questions.
I've got Chris Mason from the BBC first. Chris.
Thank you both. Chris Mason, BBC News. Mr. President, the UK is expected to recognise a Palestinian state in the coming days as the killing in Gaza continues. It often seems that you're the only person that Israel will listen to. What more can you say to them to tell them to stop? And why is the UK's position on a Palestinian state, in your view, wrong? And Prime Minister, what will the recognition of a Palestinian state actually achieve? Is it not just gesture politics to appease people in your own party? Thank you both.
Well, Chris, let me just start with that, because we discussed this amongst other things. We had the best part of an hour, I think, upstairs earlier today, just one-to-one, going through a number of affairs, world affairs, in private. And we absolutely agree on the need for peace and a roadmap, because the situation in Gaza is intolerable. The hostages have been held for a very, very long time, and they must be freed. And we need aid to get into Gaza at speed. And so it's within that context of a plan for peace, which we're working hard on, which not only did we discuss.
I mean, so on, that plan for peace is done. I mean, one, they already bombed Qatar, so we really don't have any mediator between Hamas and Israel anymore. Like, that's been thrown out the window. And Israel's already laying siege to Gaza. I mean, they're coming in with about 50 to 60,000 reserve troops. So yes, they're about to pretty much, well, I mean, they've already laid waste to Gaza. Now they're just about to go ahead and finish it off. And they've already sent messages to the Palestinians, and the Palestinians are leaving in droves. And those who are staying, well, you know who those are.
This morning,
Hamas,
our 2 teams have been working together on the question of recognition needs to be seen. And so it's part of that overall package, which hopefully takes us from the appalling situation we're in now to the outcome of a safe and secure Israel, which we do not have, and a viable Palestinian state. Thank you.
Well, simply, I want the hostages released now, right now, not 1, 2, we'll give you 3 more tomorrow. And, you know, like it's been, but we're the ones that got all the hostages released. We got many, many came to the Oval Office, and I've heard stories like I've never thought even possible.
But let's be real. Let's be real, though. I mean, the only country Israel is going to listen to is the United States, like literally.
No humanity, no anything. I said to them, I said, was there any warmth shown during this stay? Like they offered you a little extra meal, they gave you a little smile, and they said, don't worry, you'll be okay. And every one of them said, not even a little bit. Amazing, you know, to think that
Oh, guys, let's remember to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Let's get more people in on the conversation by double tapping that screen. Appreciate the support, guys.
During this stay, long stay, in some cases, we had a man the other day, 451 days he was there. I always ask that question. And was there any warmth shown? Just a little word of, encouragement. And the answer is every time, absolutely not. I'm shocked to hear it, because in the worst cases, there's always somebody that comes through. We have to remember October 7th, one of the worst, most violent days in the history of the world, not just there, the history of the world. And I got to see the tapes, and I wish I didn't see them, actually, but I got to see them. And I want an end. I want the hostages released. And I think it's going to be okay. But it has been a brutal period of time. But this has been going on for a long time. This is not something that's over the last year, 2 years, but this has been for decades and decades. But we want it to end. We have to have the hostages back immediately. That's what the people of Israel want. They want them back. And we want the fighting to stop. And it's going to stop. But a lot of bad things. Hamas said that they're going to put the hostages up as bait. They're going to put the hostages in front of any attack.
Yeah, and that's one of the real reasons why, there's a lot of protests in Israel, because these families want their loved ones back, alive or dead. And here's the thing. Honestly, these protests for the hostages been happening in Israel because they don't like the way that, the IDF was just recklessly bombing Gaza, and they're over here going like, well, we understand you want to take out a mosque, but you might end up, taking out our family member just recklessly bombing Gaza. And it didn't really seem like they were just trying to get the hostages back. It just seems like they were just trying to, lay waste to Gaza. And this is coming from the, protesters protesting for their hostage family member. Oh, man, God bless them.
And that's pretty brutal. We haven't heard that one in a long time. So we have to remember that. So I have a disagreement with the prime minister on that score. Okay? One of our few disagreements, actually.
Sorry. Can I take Jack from The Sun? Jack.
Thank you both. Jack Elson from The Sun. Mr. President, in the 9 months you've been in office, you've been incredibly successful in all but eliminating crossings on your southern border.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, illegal migration is at record levels in Britain. The Prime Minister is trying to tackle that. What advice would you give to the man standing next to you on trying to stop illegal migration in Britain? And Prime Minister, if I can just ask, the President is all about drill, baby, drill, in terms of trying to secure American energy and cut bills for Americans. Meanwhile, you are turning Britain's back on oil and gas in favor of renewable energies, such as wind turbines. Why do you think that you are right and he is wrong?
So we had millions of people flowing in, totally unchecked, totally unvetted from the Biden administration. 25 million, in my opinion, that would be about 25 million. They came from prisons. They came from mental institutions. They were gang members. They were drug dealers. They came from the Congo. They came from all parts of South America. They came from everywhere. Think of it. Prisons from the Congo being released into the United States. Prisons opened up in Venezuela and many other countries, pouring into the United States. And I couldn't believe it. One of the reasons I decided to run. I decided to run because I don't want to be controversial, but you see what's happened and you see all the information that's come out. We won in 2020 big. And I said, let's run. We got to run, because I saw what was happening. And the worst thing that I saw was all of these people. We've already solved inflation. We've solved prices. Oil is way down. Energy is way down in the United States. But what I saw happening with millions of people pouring into our country, I couldn't stand to watch it. And we've done a great job. Nobody, if you've seen the last, I appreciate your question, by the way, nobody, absolutely zero, and I'm not even sure that's possible, but it's a very liberal group that come out with those statistics. The last 3 months, we had zero. From millions of people a year ago, we had zero people enter our country illegally. And we do have people coming in legally through a legal process and testing and lots of other things. I think it's very important. And
why I'm not sure why the Dems just complain so hard for these illegals. I'm like, we have people who are doing it, the legal way, and who are waiting in line, who got pushed back because people did it the illegal way. And I choose to respect the people who obey our laws, then protect the people who disobey our laws. Like, can we all agree on that? Dems, Republican alike.
Speak about it. And I think your situation is very similar. You have people coming in, and I told the prime minister I would stop it, and it doesn't matter if you call out the military, it doesn't matter what means you use, but it's going to destroys countries from within. And we're actually now removing a lot of the people that came into our country. It's a very hard chore. We were given a very, very bad hand. Millions of people came in from prisons and mental.
Shout out to my man Ham coming in with that. Oh man. All right. So he says thoughts on the UN Commission saying there is a genocide in Gaza. What does that mean for the way the world views Israel, and more importantly, how they view the U.S.? How does this end in your eyes? Well, sadly, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. It's not gonna end too well for Israel, and this is what I mean by that. I mean, Israel's kind of overstretching itself. They bombed Yemen, they bombed Lebanon again. It's getting to a certain point where we gave these guys the excuse of October 7th, and we've been repping it the whole time, bro. End Hamas. October 7th was horrible. But to get to right here where we're at, where there's 60K Palestinians dead, you're trying to get into it with Iran, you're trying to get into it with Lebanon, you went ahead and bombed the Qatar, which is an ally. Qatar is an ally, regardless if they were holding the Hamas generals, which I do get the criticism on. I get it. But here's the thing. They are our ally. And for us to allow Israel to bomb an ally is crazy. And honestly, we should have pulled them back because this makes us look bad. You wonder why it makes us look bad? Because one, we have an air base there. Two, how the hell did they get this attack off and Qatar has our air defense system? This just makes our product look bad. And I'm gonna be real with you, around the world. So the image of American weaponry looks bad during this attack. Our diplomacy looks like shit because of this attack. And Israel just looks like a radical ass warmongering country because of this. And I'm talking about Bibi Netanyahu, his ass.
The institutions, we have to remove them. And we are removing them. We have no choice. And I feel very strongly about it. Thank you very much.
Jack, let me just deal with the question of returns, because this is obviously an issue we're taking incredibly seriously. We've struck a number of...
And here's the thing, the worst part about it is a group of scholars got together and called this a genocide. And this would kill me. I'm leaning like, bro, we can't believe an army vet. We can't believe a nun. And we can't even believe a bunch of scholars who spent their time studying the history of genocide. It's like, at a certain point, who can we believe? Like Israel, just tell me who we can believe. Just give us one guy, please, besides somebody who just overly agrees with you. Is there anybody who's fair? I mean, or is it always just supposed to be a pro-Israeli message? I mean, let's be honest here. It is a bit confusing. But all right, though, let's get right back to it.
Deals both on cooperation with other countries, because this is a problem right across Europe, to tackle the problem of actually breaking up the gangs that are running this trade. Whoa. We have had a record number of returns, over 35,000 now since we came into office. That's the highest number for the best part of 10 years. We struck the returns arrangement with France, and notwithstanding the challenges to that scheme, which you've seen in the last few days, a flight went off at 6:15 this morning, successfully returning someone under that scheme. So that is an important step forward. Obviously, there's no silver bullet here. There's a range of things that need to be done. But given the challenges of returning people, it is important that we're able to prove it can be done. It was done. It was done early this morning. So I can confirm that that flight went. It went successfully. And I'm pleased about that. Now we need to ramp that up at scale, which was always envisaged under the scheme. But it's very important that we have been able to prove that the proof of concept, if you like, that this can be done, and will continue in that way. On the question of energy, firstly, let me be real.
Well, I can tell you in terms of Gaza, bro, Gaza's cooked. It's a wrap. Gaza's done for, guys. Sorry, it is what it is.
Really clear.
But if you're pro-Israel right now, I mean, you're damn near throwing a dance party at this point. And hey, man, it is what it is. You guys won. Go ahead and celebrate.
That I am absolutely determined.
I mean, I condone it, but it is what it is.
Ensure that the price and cost of energy comes down, so that bills come down, both for individuals, for families, with their household bills, but also for business, because this is so important. The mix will include oil and gas for many years to come from the North Sea. We've been clear about that for some time, but we also need to mix that with renewables, and it's the mix that's really important. And the approach I've taken on this is the same approach that I take to many other things, a pragmatic approach. Thank you, Jack.
I would like to say that we inherited the worst inflation in the history of our country. We had inflation, the likes of which we've really never seen. They say 48 years, and I'll accept that, but I really don't. We had the worst inflation in the history of our country. And we had a expression that I used a lot, drill, baby, drill. And as you know, we brought fuel way down, the prices way down. And we don't do wind because wind is a disaster. It's a very expensive joke, frankly. And we got our energy prices way down. That brought the inflation way down. And now we have very little inflation. And we have a very, very strong economy. So that was.
No, I'm going to have to stand with Monty on this. I don't think it has anything to do with how much power it generates. I think it has everything to do with how much money you can make off of it, to be quite honest. And if UK wants to make themselves some money, they might just want to tap into that offshore drilling and get some of their oil instead of, trying to go, all pro-green or trying to do this whole green stuff, the green initiative. It's not going to help them out, well, I would say monetary-wise or economic-wise.
It's very important. Drill, baby, drill. And you have a great asset here.
Unless they got some cutting-edge technology that they're hiding.
We spoke about it. It's called the North Sea. The North Sea oil is phenomenal. And I hope, because I love this country, my mother was born in Scotland, and the Hebrides, Stornoway, that's serious Scotland. We were talking about it. And I want this country to do well. And you have great assets that you're going to start using, I believe, under this prime minister.
Thank you. And I've got Matthew from The Economist. Matthew.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Mr. President, you say that President Putin has let you down. Have negotiations run out of road? And what are your next steps to compel an end to this war?
Well, he has let me down. I mean, he's killing many people, and he's losing more people than he's killing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, frankly.
Yeah, but Russia has a bigger army, so they have people to burn. I know it's like effed up to say, but yeah, I mean, look, you guys paint Putin as this evil guy, and I'm going to go ahead and tag along with you on this one. He doesn't care. It's whatever to win this war, and he has enough bodies to throw into the wood chipper to win this war. Even if he is losing more people, he doesn't care. So I get what Trump's saying. Oh, well, even though he's losing more people, I just don't understand why. Because he's gaining ground. He doesn't care.
The Russian soldiers are being killed at a higher rate than the Ukrainian soldiers. But, yeah, he said, let me down. I don't like to see it's death. It doesn't affect the United States. We have, other than unless you end up in a world war over this thing, you could. This was a thing that would have never happened had I been president. If I were president, it would have never happened. And it didn't happen for 4 years. Most people agree it didn't happen, nor was it close to happening. And I spoke to President Putin about Ukraine. It was the apple of his eye. I've said that many times. It was. But he would have never done what he did, except that he didn't respect the leadership of the United States. They just went through the Afghanistan total disaster for no reason whatsoever. We're going to leave Afghanistan, but we're going to leave it with strength and dignity. And we're going to keep Bagram, the big air base, that one of the biggest air bases in the world. We gave it to them for nothing. We're trying to get it back, by the way. Okay,
yeah,
that could be a little breaking news. We're trying to get it back because they need things from us. We want that base back. But one of the reasons we want the base is, as you know, it's an hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. Oh, so a lot of things are happening, but I am very disappointed in the fact that that one's not settled. To think that we settled Azerbaijan and Albania as an example, it was going on for years. It was never going to be settled. If you remember, the prime minister and the presidents, they were there for many years. They said, when they were in my office, we settled. And they started off at both sides of the Oval Office, so far away. I didn't know you could be so far away. And as we were together for an hour, they kept getting closer, closer. And by the time we finished, we all hugged each other. And one said, I've been in this position for 22 years, and all I've done is kill their people. Damn. The other was there for 7 years, and all he did was kill their people. And we got it settled. And we did others, as you know. The Congo, we did.
The problem with like the Congo and Rwanda and, Albania and Azerbaijan is that those are small countries. Let's just be honest. Or they're not superpowers. They don't got nukes. They don't got special weapons or really any special wealth to them. And it's pretty easy to work with countries like that and get them to stop the fighting, especially if you're a superpower. Now, when it comes to getting and stopping a superpower's aggression on a small country, or a non-superpower, that's a little different, Trump. I mean, like I said, we can go ahead and smack around those countries all we want. They're going to do what we say. Russia's a different story.
We settled the Congo with Rwanda. That was going on, and that was a machete war. That was a gruesome war. Many people, close to 10 million people killed. We got that settled. My biggest disappointment, but it's, look, we did 7, and most of them were not thought to be settleable. We did India and we did Pakistan. That's 2 nuclear. That was purely for trade. You want to trade with us, you're going to have to get along. And they were going at it hot and heavy. But the Russia situation, I hope we're going to have some good news for you coming up. But again, it doesn't affect the United States. And it doesn't so much affect you. Of course, you are a lot closer to the scene than we are. We have a whole ocean separating us. But I will say this.
I believe, what was it? I think it was Saudi Arabia that signed a deal with Pakistan for a military, military alliance. So pretty much if anybody messes with Saudi Arabia, and right now, every country in the Middle East is kind of on alert right now because of what Israel's doing. And they have the belief that they're next. Yes. So a lot of these Middle Eastern countries have the belief that, well, once they take Gaza or all of Palestine, we're next. And they're kind of suiting up for it.
It's millions of people have died in that.
Could it just be paranoia? Or could they be preparing for something that's actually coming? Well, yet to see. Well, we'll see.
That war. Millions of souls, and they're not American. The soldiers, mostly soldiers, as you know, the soldiers are being killed at levels nobody's seen since the Second World War. But they're being killed, and I feel I have an obligation to get it settled for that reason. Thank you.
And just to add on that question, because we have to put extra pressure on Putin, and it's only when the president has put pressure on Putin that he's actually shown any inclination to move. Yeah. So we have to ramp that pressure.
The only people that could put pressure on Putin is honestly probably like 3 countries. And that would be us, China, and India, because of how much they buy from Russia. They might be able to help. They might be able to hold some type of leverage on them. But if it ain't us, China, or India, then, I don't know what to tell you guys. Nobody can really pull Russia by the coattails besides us.
I think it's important to have this conversation in the context of what's happened in recent weeks. We saw damage and bombing to the British Council in Kyiv. These are targets that it was thought until recently were not targets that would be hit. The British Council, the European Union Embassy, the Council of Ministers, where President Zelensky's ministers work was hit. Again, these were thought to be places that wouldn't be hit.
Exactly. They're able to strike into the Capitol. They're able to strike to the but government buildings. When have they been able to do that in Moscow? They haven't been able to attack inside Moscow, but Putin's able to reach all the way inside Ukraine. And you guys think that these guys have a chance? This is why I kind of want the whole war to stop and they just kind of submit to whatever Putin wants. And this is not me being pro-Russian. This is just me wanting the death to stop. Even though there is people in America who do believe that, Ukraine still has a fighting chance. We just got to put more into them. And honestly, dog, it's like you gave your little brother a pocket full of money and then you sent him to go fight the 6'5" bully. Like, bro.
And then the incursion into Poland last week. And if you put that together, what you can see is either an emboldenment or at least an increased recklessness on Putin's part. And that's why I said earlier that they're not the actions of someone who wants peace. So we have to ramp up. And we discussed earlier today, we have built the coalition of the willing with British leadership and French leadership, stepping up with military planning in the seas, in the sky, on the ground, and ramping up what we do with the Ukrainians themselves. And of course, that taken with an American guarantee is now an example, I think, of the challenge of Europe stepping up to the plate, which it has done in the last few months, to show through what we and the French have done that we're prepared to take the lead in this and take the necessary measures.
But that's a war that could have been a third world war, and I don't think we're going to be there now. But that was heading to a third world war. And what a shame it is. What a shame it is.
Mr. President, do you want to call some of the...
I would love to call a few of them. Bev, do you want to have a question?
I'm going to come back to you.
TV News. Thank you. Having been in DC for a few weeks, it's really interesting to see how you run the country as a proud Christian leader. And it really begs the question to the Prime Minister, if you don't mind, are we still a Christian country? But also...
when you say we, are you talking here or?
Here. The
Here?
UK. I'm still British. I might
I'd
live in
rather
America.
have
I'm
him
still
answer
British.
that question.
But also,
I can't give you that answer.
that's for the Prime Minister. But also, despite what we talked about in Scotland a few weeks ago, we still have 12,000 people a year here being arrested for social media posts, for free speech violations. Does that not remain an important area that there is still a lot of disagreement on?
I'd like to have you answer that.
Yeah, look, I mean, in terms of a Christian country, I was christened. So that is, my church has been all my life.
And shout out to Just Saying, man. He says, subset, keep up the atmosphere of truth. Hey, man, you know, we try. Shout out to my man Just Saying. Appreciate the support.
And, we are, you know, that is wired into our informal constitution. Of course, we celebrate many other faiths as well, and I'm really proud that we're able to do so as a country. And on free speech, that has long lived in this country, free speech. It's one of the founding values.
No, I do find it kind of funny that she asked him, are we still a Christian country, you know, considering that the word on the global streets is that we're being overrun by Muslims? Like, are we still a Christian country? Like, yeah, I don't even know how he answered that question. So, like, I honestly I ain't gonna lie, kind of skirted the question. He didn't really answer it because he know damn well there's a problem going on in the UK where the people feel like they're kind of being taken over by Muslims. Now there's people who have an argument for that, saying, no, it's just racist people. And then there's people going like, no, you're just trying to cover up the crimes of these people or the Muslims for some wild reason. Who knows?
Of the United Kingdom, and we protect it jealously and fiercely, and always will. And we will bear down on any limits on free speech. I draw a limit between free speech and the speech of those that want to peddle paedophilia and suicide social media to children. And therefore, I'm all for free speech. I'm also for protecting children from things that will harm them, paedophiles, those that peddle suicide, which has had a terrible consequence for individual, particularly teenagers. And so that's the balance we strike. But we have had freedom of speech in this country for a very long time, and we will always protect it.
Thank you.
You do?
Thank you very much, Brian, please.
You sure? Because I'm pretty sure a comedian got arrested for their post on trans women or trans people. So y'all sure y'all a country of freedom of speech? I don't know about that one.
Thank you. Prime Minister, it's good to see you again. You have a beautiful country. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Two questions. One, just recently, President Trump labeled Antifa domestic terrorists. Would you consider doing something like that in your country?
Well, we obviously will take decisions for ourselves. I don't want to comment on the decisions of the president, but we take our decisions ourselves.
And my question to you, President Trump, is there any update on the auto pen?
Yeah, it's just gotten worse from their standpoint. The people that used it and one.
Oh God, let's not forget to double tap that screen, like the video, guys. Let's get more people in on the conversation by double tapping that screen. Appreciate the support.
In particular, one person was never told by Biden to do it. Only spoke to Biden twice, and that was just talking about the weather, not talking about any order. And he was taking orders from people other than Joe Biden. Joe Biden wasn't giving those orders. You know, Joe Biden didn't believe in open borders.
No, he did not.
He didn't. I've known him.
I mean, considering that he was the VP of the Deporter-in-Chief, aka Barack Obama,
for a long time. He was never the brightest bulb in the ceiling, as we know. You can go back 40 years ago and you'll see that. Go back and take a look at the hearings on Justice Thomas, and you'll see that very much. But he didn't believe in open borders and all of this nonsense that they're peddling now, which is why they're not in office any longer. It's a shame. The auto pen was illegal. It was illegally used. He never gave the orders. He never told them what to do. And I guess the only one he signed, or one of the few he signed, was the pardon for his son. but you had the
and shout out to my man Monty. He says y'all need to send some super chats in. It's like, shout out my man Monty. And hey guys, hey, if you don't send them in now, I mean, shoot, don't worry. We got another show coming up because I do have to go ahead and cover the executive orders. But we're gonna do a nice little 2-hour show now, and then we're gonna get to the later night show at the 1:32 a.m. So don't worry. But listen to my man Monty.
congressmen who, when they got the information, they found out they were guilty, and they deleted and destroyed all information, everything. You couldn't get any of it. They found out that Nancy Pelosi actually was offered the 10,000 soldiers and she turned them down. They found out many things that were very bad. So they deleted and destroyed all information. You talk about freedom of the press and freedom of speech. How about that one?
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a thing. This is after a year and a half of hearings. They destroyed everything. And somebody's got to be held responsible. So Biden, what he did is they knew, I don't think he knew, but somebody knew. I don't think Biden had a clue about anything, if you want to know the truth. But they gave a pardon to those Congress people. They gave a pardon. Those people are so guilty. They gave a pardon, but Biden didn't know about it. The people, whether it's Lisa or any of those people in there that really ran it, I know them all. And they're sick people. They're smart people. They're very smart. They're probably brilliant, but they're sick in ideology. And they were running the auto pen, and it was totally illegal what he did. And I hope it's going to be so adjudged.
Do you want to take one more, then I'll
Okay.
go back to some British.
Let's see. Peter, go ahead.
You know, after he kind of explained that whole Biden thing, it just reminded me, like with the whole Jimmy Kimmel situation, the Biden administration literally coerced social media companies to follow what the Biden administration wanted them to do and censor certain people. So when ABC affiliates kick off Jimmy Kimmel, isn't that kind of the same of how the Biden administration got social media companies to kick off certain people that, you know, wasn't talking the way they wanted to or was exposing too much? Like, isn't that kind of the same grounds? And here's the thing. I don't agree with it happening on either side or to either person, left or right. But what I am going to say is that why didn't y'all call it out then? I mean, why didn't you stick up to the guys on the right that was getting kicked out like that? Why? Oh, now that it happened to somebody on your side, now you're outraged? Really now? I mean, you sat down quiet when Biden do it. And I mean, it kind of would be fair if you sit your ass down now too. But to be quite honest, I do see it as an overreach both ways, like even with Jimmy Kimmel and even what Biden did. But here's the problem. You guys shut the hell up. Why'd y'all shut the hell up then? And y'all talking so proudly now. It's as if y'all didn't cower because of it was the Biden administration. Like, come on now. And shout out to my man, William Turley. He says, super chat sent. And shout out to my man. And here comes William coming in again. He says, nah, don't censor people. Let the world see how evil they are. Exactly. I mean, let's be real. If we'd have just let Jimmy Kimmel ride off into the wind with that, I don't think he'd have got canceled on his own. His ratings were already in the toilet. I mean, the government honestly shouldn't have said anything. They shouldn't have said anything. And let's see if the ABC affiliates would have still kicked them off. Then the Dems wouldn't have anything to latch on to, because now they're trying to turn this into a whole corporate conspiracy about, what was it? Next they're trying to buy Tegna. And, oh, well, the only way for that to happen is to go ahead and punish Jimmy Kimmel. It's like they're making up corporate conspiracy theories, which honestly might actually might have some relevance to it. And there might be some validity there, to be honest. But you guys get my point.
And the deal that you're working on for the Chinese to sell TikTok to an American buyer, are the Americans going to have to come up with their own algorithm, or are they going to continue to use the successful but addictive Chinese algorithm?
So what we're doing, and we're speaking to President Xi on Friday to see if we can find.
And shout out my man Uncle Benny says, great programming. Keep fighting set. No talent, Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, I agree. And that's the problem with Jimmy Kimmel, is like he just had too much hatred for Trump. And it seemed like only Bill Maher got the message and made the right correction. Now his numbers are good because he makes fun of both sides and it's funny. And so is Jimmy Kimmel. Honestly, he is somewhat kind of funny. The problem is he just harps too much on the right. And then he does all the jokes that he bashes the right for doing. Like the racist jokes and the black jokes. It's like, are you serious? Let somebody on the right do that crap. Y'all ready to take this man down. Jimmy Kimmel does it and it's funny again. It's like, what?
Finalize something on TikTok because there is tremendous value, and I hate to give away value, but I like TikTok. It helped get me elected. In fact,
and by the way, I love racist black jokes. I'm just saying, if it was a Republican comedian doing it, y'all have lost your mind.
Charlie said, "Sir, you ought to get on TikTok. You'd be great." I said, "Really? Tell me about TikTok." And we, as you know, we did unbelievably well with youth, like at a level that no Republican has ever even dreamt of. And in what, look, I think we won it for a lot of reasons, but that was a reason we won the election by such a big number. TikTok has tremendous value. The United States has that value in its hand because we're the ones that have to approve it. I specifically get the right to approve it. The people that are investing in it are among the greatest investors in the world, the biggest, the richest, and they'll do a great job. And we're doing it in conjunction with China. But we are getting, the United States is getting a tremendous fee plus, I call it a fee plus, for just making the deal. And I don't want to throw that out the window. I can say this, that you'll have a lot of very unhappy youth. And I use TikTok very legitimately, very straight, just statements every day, little statements, short statements. Sir, make it short, please. And TikTok Jack, we call him. It was pretty good. Did a good job for me, I guess. But no, I'd rather reap the benefits. I mean, the kind of money we're talking about is very substantial, and it'll be owned by all American investors and, the best investors and the, very rich people and companies are going to be owning it. Very, very straight, very legitimate companies, and really companies that love America. So they're going to be owning it. It's a big thing. And on a much bigger scale, and probably that's why we were able to get that, but on a much bigger.
Apparently the smoke detector in there is going off. And shout out to my man Monty for the chirp. Okay, I guys, I'm just playing. It's the sound effect.
Scale, we're pretty close to a deal. We may do an extension with China, but it's an extension based on the same terms that we have right now, which are pretty good terms.
And my question for Prime Minister Starmer, if you feel so strongly about officially recognizing Palestine for statehood, why are you waiting for President Trump to leave the country? Why can't you just do it right now? And isn't there a risk in rewarding Hamas with that?
Well, let me be really clear about Hamas. They're a terrorist organization.
Facts.
Who can have no part in any future governance in Palestine. And what happened on October the 7th was the worst attack since the whole.
I mean, yeah, there are radicalized groups of Islams. I mean, they're a radicalized group of Palestinians who have a deep hatred for Israel. And I mean, let's be real, and Israel feels the same way about them. Now, their atrocities on October 7th, I mean, like I said, absolutely horrific. Nobody's going to sit here and try to defend Hamas at all. But the main problem is that we can't do collective punishment because of what Hamas did. I get the argument of, oh, well, they voted for Hamas. Well, guess what? There are people who didn't vote for Hamas. There was a whole nother party to vote for. When you say, oh, a majority of them voted for them, I'm like, dog, that's like basically saying that there were, like I said, aliens evaporating every Republican. You would go there and be like, yo, what the fuck is this? This is collective. Oh, and I know. Imagine if the aliens turned around and say, you know what? Well, since most of y'all guys vote Republican, yeah, we're just going to take care of every American in the United States. We're just going to kill all of you. You guys would sit there and be like, yo, what the fuck? This collective punishment. I thought we were just punishing the Republicans. You feel me? This is pretty much what we're doing. It's collective punishment. We said it was about just attacking Hamas, but then it turned out to just be also exterminating Palestinians as well. And we're all for exterminating Hamas. We are not for this. Well, I'm gonna be real with you, bombing innocent women and children. Like, you can never convince me that's okay. But I will always agree with you that Hamas needs to be eliminated.
Of course. We have extended.
And shout out my man Galactic. He says, morning set from your Aussie Jessica Taylor. Monty, don't ban me. Shout out. Oh man, shout out Galactic.
I'm in Israel. I understand firsthand the psychological impact that had across Israel. So I know exactly where I stand in relation to Hamas. Hamas, of course, don't want a two-state solution. They don't want peace. They don't want a ceasefire.
Nope.
So I'm very clear where I stand on Hamas. Okay. On the question of recognition, I made my position clear at the end of July as to the timing, which has got nothing to do with this state visit. And I've discussed it with the president, as you would.
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just gonna say it flat out. Both sides don't want a ceasefire, it seems. Like they both give each other unfair deals. They both BS about hostages. I mean, both sides. Yes, Israel has hostages that Hamas wants back as well. I know they don't talk about that part, but yes, there's hostages being held on both sides. It's kind of one of the reasons they did October 7th, but they don't talk about that part. But the problem is that, yeah, both sides are BSing each other, and there's really no ground. There's really no, honestly, forward steps being taken. It's kind of one of the reasons I believe that Israel kind of bombed Qatar and just said, F it, we're not getting anywhere with these guys anyway, so let's just try to take them out.
Expect amongst two leaders who respect each other and like each other and want to bring about.
Yeah, shout out to my man Zolov. He says, remember, 1,218 days left of Trump's presidency. Woo! But shout out Zolov for the day-by-day countdown.
A better solution in the best way that we can. Thank you so much. Can I go back then to Robert at ITV?
Robert Peston, ITV. Mr. President, you alone in the whole world have the power.
And shout out William for the baller alert. He says, you won't win this, Monty. +1, bring out Nero. And shout out once again.
Persuade Prime Minister Netanyahu to stop the demolition of Gaza City, to stop the starvation of Palestine, and to stop the killing of civilians. If not now, when will you exercise that power to tell him to stop?
Sure.
And then for both of you,
but you do understand about October 7th.
Of course,
you do understand.
So believe me, I understand.
One of the worst days in the history of humanity. What happened? I have seen the tapes. Babies that are 4 months old and just chopped up to pieces. And you've seen the tapes, and I've seen the tapes. You're a professional, and so am I. And people forget about October 7th. I can't forget about it. So I want it to end, but I want the hostages back. I don't want the hostages used as human shields, which is what Hamas is threatening to do.
But as soon as they're back, that's the moment you will tell Netanyahu
well,
to stop.
It would certainly help, but I have to have the hostages back. And I don't want them back piecemeal, as I said before.
No, I mean, bro, they're going to take Gaza, okay? They're just going to take all of Gaza. They're going to take out the Palestinians. They're going to fake like either they're going to buy the Palestinians out or they're going to fake like they're going to bring them back in, either one or the other. But they're just going to push them into other Muslim countries. And the other Muslim countries are going to be afraid because they're like, oh, shit, we might be next. And trust me, I know 2 countries who are saying that right now, and it's Syria and Lebanon. And they may be next. Hopefully not, though. Hopefully Israel just chills out. They got Gaza. It is what it is. Y'all can take y'all win, and we can just move on to better times. Hopefully.
I want them back.
And on a separate issue, free speech, your Vice President Vance said that free speech is under attack in the UK. Do you agree with him? And Prime Minister, we saw the dismissal of a very well-known chat show host in America last night, Mr. Kimmel. Is free speech more under attack in Britain or America?
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else. And he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So, you can call it.
I see Jimmy Kimmel's firing is the same way I see how somebody gets taken off of YouTube. You broke the community standard guidelines. They have guidelines. They have community standards that a lot of these companies, corporations abide by. And if you break it, you're gone. And then, of course, the FCC also had a couple cases, which might have been honestly weak, in my opinion. They were honestly weak cases because we can't definitively prove that Jimmy Kimmel said that to, distort the news or to lie. We can't prove that. So the FCC's case against him is weak, but ABC affiliates, they said they fired him due to their guidelines, community standards. So just like when YouTube take you off for community guidelines, they can do the same.
Speech or not, he was fired for lack of talent. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, firstly, on the question of Charlie Kirk, can I just express how shocking that is, I think, to everybody who believes in free speech and in democracy. It sent shockwaves through the world. And I know that he was a friend of the president, and I reached out straight away to the president because I understood how impactful it'd be on him and his family. And we all need to be absolutely clear about that. Whatever our political views, it is shocking and is to be condemned. On free speech, not much to add to the answer I gave earlier. This country's had free speech for a very, very long time. It is part of who we are.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Come on, you guys are arresting people for social media posts. Do you? That don't sound like free speech to me.
As a country, and it is the values that we fought for. We fought for it during the Second World War alongside each other. So we need no reminding of the importance of free speech in this country. Thank you, Robert. And I go to Beth for the final question, please. Beth.
Thank you so much.
Sky.
Thank you, Beth Rigby, Sky News. Thank you, Prime Minister. If I could start with you. Prime Minister, President Trump has said he's ready to impose major sanctions on Russia if NATO countries stop purchasing Russian oil. He's got a point, hasn't he? Is that what you now believe is needed to bring Putin properly to the table? And what's your message to the President on US sanctions? And Mr. President, if I may, the King praised your personal commitment last night to finding solutions to the world's most intractable conflicts. You have invested much of your time and effort in Ukraine. But even as you seek to broker a deal, President Putin is escalating the war. He's firing drones into NATO airspace. You say he has let you down. Was it a mistake to invite him to Alaska? Do you regret it?
No.
And is it time to squeeze him, sir, and scare him and impose sanctions? And finally, if I may, the elephant in the room, Lord Mandelson, he is no longer the ambassador. Do you have some sympathy with him that he lost his job over historic links to Jeffrey Epstein? Thank you very much, sir.
I don't know him, actually. I had heard that, and I think maybe the Prime Minister would be better speaking of that. That was a choice that he made, and I don't know. What is your answer to that?
Well, I mean, it's very straightforward. Some information came to light last week, which wasn't available when
he passed that question on to him so smooth, like, yeah, I ain't answering that. But what, man, yo, answer them, man. That's your guy.
He was appointed, and I made a decision about it, and that's very clear. On the question of the pressure on Putin and on Russia, which is obviously really important. Look, I think it is a challenge to Europe. There are a number of European countries which are too reliant on energy from Russia. The UK actually obviously has almost got nothing at all, but we do need to bear down and work with our European counterparts here. There are one or two countries, I think, that do need to look again at the question of energy. There's no one silver bullet here. We do have to have a wider suite of sanctions, which we've put in place a number of times, working across Europe and with the United States. And of course, we must, and we are, making sure that Ukraine is in the strongest position now, because one of my long concerns here has been that whilst we talk about a ceasefire, and we all want a ceasefire, and we talk about what might happen after a ceasefire, we mustn't forget that Ukraine needs our support now. And we've said we stand with Ukraine from the start to the finish, and that means we must continue to supply them with what they need in order to fight this war, which of course resulted from and is a result of Russian aggression. We have particularly done
well NATO interference in Russian aggression. So I mean, it depends on what side you stand on. But the problem here, though, is that, like I said, we can't give these. There's no way we can pay these guys into a victory. There's no amount of weapons unless we're giving them alien technology that's going to help them win this. The only way Ukraine wins this is if they get somebody else involved. It's either going to be us or some other European country. I mean, apparently, they're trying to false flag Poland into this, so who knows where that's going to go. But honestly, there's no amount of weapons that we can give to Ukraine that's going to help them win this. I mean, they don't got the manpower. They don't have the personnel. They're pulling people off the street to fight in this war. Putin still got 1.2 million people in reserves to burn through.
The sort of leadership role in the coalition of the willing, so that if there is a ceasefire and if there is a deal, and I do hope there is, that is then lasting. And not then broken, because given previous history, I don't trust Putin. Thank you.
Very simply, if the price of oil comes down, Putin's going to drop out. He's going to have no choice. He's going to drop out of that war. And when I found out that the European nations were buying oil from Russia, and as you know, I'm very close to India. I'm very close to the Prime Minister.
I see some of you guys trying to make the social media point where social media has the right to kick you off. Yeah, I know. So does ABC affiliates. They have the right to kick you off their station that they're supporting, just like YouTube has the right to kick you off their platform that they are supporting. So that's what I'm saying. You guys get that argument, but you come on now. Let's round it up here. You can't sit here and cry about Jimmy Kimmel's firing because honestly, he got fired the same way somebody of YouTube gets kicked off. He signed a contract to abide to their community standards and their guidelines. He violated it in their eyes, and they said, you got to go. And your ratings are down. So you really got to go. So like, we're not even going to keep you around because one, you're losing money. And two, you're breaking guidelines.
India. I spoke to him the other day, wished him a happy birthday. We have a very good relationship. He put out a beautiful statement too. We have,
right.
But I said, I sanctioned them. China is paying a very large tariff.
Thank you for reminding me, Monty. So excuse me, sir. Call in line. Of course. Yeah, shout out to you guys. You've been opening up the call-in line. Now, if you are a member of Donate at least $1 to the stream, you can go ahead and hit the call-in link in the post tab, which I'll post in about 5 minutes here. Appreciate the support, guys.
Right now to the United States. But I'm willing to do other things, but not when the people that I'm fighting for are buying oil from Russia. If the oil price comes down, very simply, Russia will settle. And the oil price is way down. We got it way down. We're drilling and we produce more oil than anybody else in the world. We're doing a lot. It
is absolutely wild how there are countries in Russia saying, hey, you can handle Russia for us while, we kind of fill their pockets because we're buying their oil. Is there any way you could do that? Like, is there any way you could beat Russia while we still get, oil from them? Like, come on now.
But I was disappointed to see that. And the prime minister was disappointed to see that. And it wasn't him. It was other countries. And you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't. That's not playing fair with the United States, and we can't have that. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you.
And all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and start over on, the left side of media. Why not? You got to love the left side of media, man. The hypocrisy, the over-exaggerations, all that good stuff, man. The left side of media is fun. So shout out to our people at CNN, and let's get right into it.
We have another fun, hilarious administration compliant show.
This is funny.
What are you doing? Shut up. Blow this phrase.
Yeah, shut up, Kimmel. You could lose your job too, Kim. I mean, what's his name? Jon Stewart, The Daily Show, man. Bro, you can lose your job too. Shut up, bro. And obviously, I'm just playing. Like, here's the thing. You're about to notice something like that's a little bit different. One, you're about to notice that these guys aren't breaking their guidelines. And two, Kimmel went out there and broke the ABCs. I think it's like the St. Clair, what was it, man? I got to remember the two companies that fired him, but I'll get right back to you on that. But it was two major companies that fired him that was ABC affiliates, and he broke their guidelines. I mean, the FCC may have said something, but that doesn't mean Donald Trump or the government really got involved. Whatever these companies decide to do with the people that they employ is up to them. And if you guys want to go ahead and try to weave the government into this as if they had something to do with it, I mean, you can, but at the end of the day, it still stands that he wasn't fired because of the FCC. He wasn't fired because of Trump. He was fired by the people who sign his checks. It is what it is.
Yeah, a lot of people are worried that we won't keep saying what we want to say or that we'll be censored. But I'm going to cover the president's trip to the UK just like I normally would. Well, guys, President Trump just wrapped up his 3-day trip to the UK, and he
looked incredibly handsome.
I just want to say before we get started here that I've always admired and respected Mr. Trump. I've always believed he was a visionary, innovator, a great president, and even better golfer.
That is just a taste of what we heard overnight from late night in defense of Jimmy Kimmel after ABC suspended him indefinitely following threats from the White House. Jon Stewart, you just saw him, he came in for a special Thursday night edition of his show and explained the First Amendment.
In America, we have a little something called the First Amendment. And let me tell you how it works. There's something called a talent-o-meter. It's a completely scientific instrument that is kept on the president's desk. And it tells the president when a performer's TQ, talent quotient, measured mostly by niceness to the president, goes below a certain level, at which point the FCC must be notified to threaten the acquisition prospects for billion-dollar mergers of network affiliates. These affiliates are then asked to give ultimatums to the even larger megacorporation that controls the flow of state-approved content, or the FCC can just choose to threaten those licenses directly. It's basic science.
And yeah, they even threw the Federal Trade Commission in there too. It was like, well, they want to also appeal to the Federal Trade Commission so that Nexstar can go ahead and buy Tigna because that's holding them up. And the FTC is saying that, well, if you don't handle Kimmel, then we won't let you merge. And you see, they're kind of weaving a corporate conspiracy into this, which is honestly, well, I could see it. There may be some validity to it, but it does seem like you guys are just trying to reach at this point. Anything but to accept that he got fired because he wasn't that funny and he was performing badly. Like, look, man, Jon Stewart, you're doing well, but Kimmel wasn't. Okay, that's why you're still on and he's not. For now.
Read your Constitution. Read it.
So that's what Jon Stewart had to say about the First Amendment. What are they saying about it on Capitol Hill? CNN's Annie Greer is there this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, John. Well, we are seeing a split screen unfolding on Capitol Hill where Republicans are largely supportive of the decision of ABC to remove Kimmel from the air indefinitely.
Yep. Now remember, not Trump, not FCC, but ABC. I don't know why you guys are outraged about an employer firing their employee. I don't know why you're outraged about that. I mean, shoot, Biden got people's banned off social media that they were getting paid for. I mean, the YouTube does it all the time. And I know y'all guys see you sign up for it. Yeah, so did Kimmel. When Kimmel signed that contract, he signed to follow their community guidelines and that as well. So thank you for proving my point.
Say it is a business decision, and they're largely sidestepping any questions about FCC or Brendan Carr. Now, Democrats, on the other hand, are raising alarm bells here. They say that this is just the beginning of what could be a dangerous road towards censorship. This sets a very dangerous precedent and really infringes.
Hold on. They're talking about a road to censorship after we're like 10 miles down the road to censorship on their behalf.
Yeah.
This is a dangerous road to censorship, so it's okay to kick the sitting president off of, every social media platform. It's okay to deplatform an entire social media platform because they allow the president on it. It's okay for conservative pundits to get audited by the IRS because they're conservative. It's okay for all of these things to happen. But because it happens to you guys, suddenly now it's a freedom of speech issue?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Y'all stayed so silent during the Biden administration. He was getting people took off social media left and right. I mean,
you're just mad because now there's consequences for your heinous actions. And I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna I'll defend your right to say whatever you want, but you don't have the right to a platform. Say it with me, Set. You don't have the right to a platform.
And let's go. And Moth, you do got a frog in the mic.
Right.
Yeah, I know, the frog in the mic.
To listen to just a sampling of how lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are talking about this issue.
There's free speech. And if you're going to go out there and speak your piece, fine, but you're accountable to somebody. It's not the government. You're accountable to your people that employ you.
Is the right dabbling in cancel culture?
Not this guy on the right. I mean, I just said he's entitled under the First Amendment to say what he wants. But on the other hand, I applaud.
And here's the thing. I mean, he is entitled to say whatever he wants, but we're still going to applaud ABC for taking him down. And here's the thing. It doesn't have anything to do with politics. It's just that he broke their guidelines, and let's just leave politics out of it. They were going to take him out eventually.
Not to mention, Seth, no one wants to hear what he has to say, as evident by the ratings. No one's buying what he's selling.
Exactly. So they were going to get him off anyway because he was costing them money. So I do need you guys to understand that you guys are trying to weave Trump into this, weave the government into this, when no, he just got fired by his employer. That's it.
The move of Disney, his corporate parent, to say, we think this is terrible.
It's not a question of whether you agree with Mr. Kimmel or disagree with Mr. Kimmel. The point is one of the government not coming in and making decisions about who.
And shout out to my man Dave Johnson. Hey, and shout out Big Wave Dave, who's also in the chat. But shout out to my man Dave Johnson. He says nobody watched LOL. Untalented stuffing. Laugh out loud, and he says love. Hey man, love to you too, man. Yeah, a lot of people do say he was untalented and not funny, and that's the thing. I'm gonna agree with you guys because I never really watched him like that. But seeing that the other guys are on and he's out, it goes to
hold on. Let's put up a poll. Is an employer forced to employ an employee? Yes or no? Very simple. If anybody answers yes to that, then you're not mature enough to have this conversation or even have an opinion on the matter.
Facts. Oh, but I'll go ahead and put it in there. Let's see.
this speech gets heard.
So as you see, very different reactions here, and it's really just unfolding a larger conversation on Capitol Hill about free speech and if there are any limits to it. And one thing that Republicans have been pushing for a very long time is being against cancel culture. And that is a question that's coming up again as they support the decision to remove Kimmel from the air. This is something that is going to continue to develop, but it is really remarkable to see such different reactions here. I should point out that Democrats are even trying to investigate this decision, but given that they are in the minority, they do not have the power on committees to really compel any testimony or documents there. But this is something that both Democrats and Republicans have very strong but very different views on.
Different. Although I will say there are some conservative outlets or center-right outlets now that are raising questions about the government role in all this. But so far, a lot of the members on Capitol Hill not seeing it the same way. Annie Greer.
To be honest with you, like I kind of read up on everything, and the FCC, they only kind of like raised suspicion. They didn't really put out no real case against this man because the case is kind of weak. If they was to put something out against him, it would be a weak case. Honestly, I think the FCC was just thrown in there to try to throw confusion into his firing and try to make it something other than ABC taking this man off. The left is trying to connect this to Trump because, well, they just can't stand that. Well, I guess one of their favorite guys got taken off for low ratings. I mean, I guess it was only the echo chamber that I was watching.
Great to see you. Thank you very much. Kate.
Sticking their neck out. Once again, President Trump is applauding ABC's decision, as we have seen, to pull Jimmy Kimmel from the air. He's also saying very clearly that he thinks networks should lose their broadcasting licenses simply for criticizing him. Listen to this.
They give me only bad publicity for press. I mean, they're getting a license. I would think maybe their license should be taken away.
Now that was dishonest.
Hold on.
Yeah.
When did he say they should have their license taken away for supporting him or for not supporting him?
No,
he
that's
didn't
what I'm
say
about to say. He never said that. He said that they gave me mainly negative news coverage, and I do believe there is a law against that. Like, I don't think you can provide mainly negative news coverage on one candidate but give only positive news coverage to the other. I think there is a law against that. I'm not for sure though.
It's called libel. It's called the libel law. You're not allowed to fucking just trash one person asymmetrically.
Yeah, but then champion their opponent.
Yeah.
It'll be up to Brendan Kirk.
Joining us right now is Greg Lukianoff. He's the president of FIRE, a free speech advocacy group. And you guys have been very outspoken on this and for years, let's be honest. It's very nice to have you here. Thanks for being here.
Charming.
Brendan Carr has said you hear that from the president, but Brendan Carr also said yesterday that
holy
the
shit
move is not.
Hold on. Hey, shit. Look what Ham just wrote.
I did not. Hold on.
No, I fucking agree with it.
Really? Hold on. Now, what does it say? Because I can't find it.
It's in the last thing he wrote. It's pretty long.
All right. Well, we'll just hold on.
Yeah. It's very hard to revoke and pull a broadcasting license.
Yeah.
At least it was in the past.
It was.
Where do you think this goes now?
Oh my God. Well, I mean, first of all, I want to say, like, the murder of Charlie Kirk was a savage blow against freedom of speech. But the administration is exploiting that to go after its political enemies in a way that violates the First Amendment consistently. I have seen them adopt practically every argument they criticize on the left, whether it's hate speech or misinformation, as a rationale for censorship. Brendan Carr himself criticized.
There's a lot of tweets for Brendan Carr that are not aging well for him.
Yeah, exactly. Where he said this precisely the same thing.
I mean, let's be real. I mean, if it was about hate speech or anything like that, Jimmy Kimmel would have been let go a long time ago. Let's be honest. So it's not about what he said about Charlie. Honestly, it is what he said about Charlie Kirk, and it's also his ratings as well. And apparently what he said about Charlie Kirk was not against, wasn't really about the FCCC. It was about, well, the community guidelines of the corporations that sign his check.
Not to mention, hey, Seth, let's put it to you this way. If ABC was getting good ratings from Jimmy Kimmel, and he said this one thing, they would overlook it. They would say, nah, he's making us good money. We're going to keep him up. Like, no, it's a combination of the two things. He said hateful things in the past, which fucking inflame people, and it shows badly on the corporation, and no one's actually watching him, and now he said something else that's patently false and verifiably false, then he wants to go and double down on it. So he got fired.
Let me go ahead and read. Well, hold on here, but let me go ahead and read this information now on who pushed for the suspension and ultimately the firing. It was Nexstar Media Group, a large group owning many ABC affiliate stations. Nexstar said its ABC affiliates would pretty much take down the show, drop it, beginning immediately, citing that Kimmel's comments were offensive and insensitive. St. Clair Broadcast Group, another big affiliate group, St. Clair demanded that Kimmel issue an apology and make donations to Charlie Kirk's family or organization in order for them to resume airing the show. And he, of course, he doubled down and said, I ain't doing that. And of course, there's the SEC chair, Brendan Carr. He publicly condemned Kimmel's monologue, called for accountability, and suggests regulatory consequences if ABC did not act. That seemed to have added pressure. So that's what the Dems are mainly going off of, is that, well, Brendan Carr got involved, and since he got involved, now it's the only reason why St. Clair and Nexstar pulled this.
So ignore the fact that ABC, Nexstar, and Sinclair all wanted to fire him anyway, but because the big bad FCC got in the way, somehow it's an oppression of free speech. He was going to get fired anyway, you dweebs.
Yeah, but Monty, there's this burp in the mic. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I can't tell you what that is.
All right, it is what it is.
Turning those into weapons for their own use.
You heard President Trump say that networks should lose their licenses for criticizing him.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Charlie Kirk because, interestingly enough, Charlie Kirk had something to say about this very issue in the past. And I looked back. He was on social media reacting to when South Park made fun of him, kind of lampooned him in an episode. He said this: we need to have a good spirit about being made fun of. This is a success. This is all a win. We as conservatives, we have thick skin, not thin skin.
Hold on. There's a difference. No. I'm gonna cut her off right there. There's a difference between making fun of somebody and making a comedy quip and calling an entire group of people a bunch of idiots and liars when they say, oh, the left killed Charlie Kirk. And being insensitive to somebody's murder. Mm-hmm. South Park didn't do that. And, not to mention, South Park pulled that episode.
Really?
Yeah, South Park pulled that episode from their rerun schedule on their own accord.
Oh, man, aren't they real for that one? But I mean, yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. But and here's the thing, guys. I understand how you want to make this about the government, but let's be real. You can't really get mad at ABC for taking off a guy who had low ratings, and then her trying to compare this or trying to bring in Charlie Kirk. I mean, it's a completely different situation here. Completely different. Like, the problem is this guy says something pretty damn insensitive on national television, and here's the thing. He can't be prosecuted for saying that. No, but he can be fired. Like, that's not infringement on his freedom of speech. He can be fired for his freedom of speech. You know that, right? Like freedom of persecution, not a consequence. Remember that part.
I mean, that is a true statement and should be for anyone in public life.
Yeah.
But then you hold that up against the threat, this new threat coming from the president. I just wonder what it leads to.
Yeah. Well, I think they've been pretty transparent, and that's one of the reasons why the whole conservative attempt to be like, oh, this was just a business decision by ABC. The government played no role. And it's like, Trump actually said Jimmy Kimmel is next, months ago, and he repeated this. So what can we expect? We can expect him to go after the other late night hosts.
Brian Stelter brought it up today that if they're going to run up against the law and the Constitution, what they could be trying to do, though, is lead to self-censorship.
Yes.
Do you see that happening?
Oh, yeah. No, that's been a lot of the playbook. I mean, so far, the Trump administration, its approach has been to go after centers of sort of like liberal power. And so they've gone after universities, they've gone after the media, they've gone after journalism. And but unfortunately, a lot of these corporations have been caving in the face of it. And by the way, one of the only people who hasn't caved is Ann Selzer, who were defending it against a personal lawsuit by Trump.
The very well-known pollster out of Iowa.
Yeah, and she, what they're going after her for is allegedly it was a violation of consumer protection law that she got a poll wrong about because it didn't favor Trump.
I was looking through your bio. You are also the executive producer of a documentary about really getting at this very thing, the chilling effect that kind of outrage.
All right, now let's go ahead and get into the corporate conspiracy theory that they're coming up with. Because like I said, they dragged the FCC, and now they're trying to drag in the FTC as well. Yeah, the Federal Trade Commission is getting dragged in as well.
And we're back with the money lead and the Jimmy Kimmel Show suspension, as we've been laying out for a couple days now. There's a very obvious money trail, well worth your following. Nexstar, the biggest owner of local TV stations in the country, needs the FCC to approve their effort to buy their biggest rival, Tegna. And this week, Nexstar followed the lead of FCC Commissioner Brendan Carr, who said he wanted local TV stations to announce they were no longer going to air Kimmel, by announcing that their ABC-affiliated stations would preempt Jimmy Kimmel because they said they objected to Jimmy Kimmel's comments. With us now is former Federal Trade Commissioner Alvaro Bedoya. He was fired by the Trump administration this past March. We should just clarify that you were with the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, not the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission. But either way, some of these mergers and such would probably need FTC approval as well. There's a lot of money to be made. Nexstar has ample reason to try to endear itself to the FCC. So does Bob Iger and Disney, for that matter. What do you think is going to happen next?
So I don't know what will happen with this, but I can tell you that this is much bigger than late night. Because maybe you go to bed at 10, maybe you just don't have cable, but you do buy groceries, you do have prescription medicine. And what this president is doing is using these rules that are supposed to protect the public against mergers that are going to hurt them or raise prices. And he's using those rules to hurt his enemies and help his friends. And so it's not going to matter if grocery prices go up or drug prices go up. What's going to matter is who's given how much to the president and his friends.
Because just to reiterate for people, the more companies there are, the more competition there is, and that keeps theoretically prices as low as possible, unless there's antitrust violations going on. And you posted on social media that you think that this is broader than censorship, broader than late night. 50 media companies controlling 90% of the market, down to 5 companies controlling 90% of the market. Tell us.
Yeah, makes sense.
It used to be 40 years ago, 50 companies were around controlling that market. If you censor company number 50, good luck with the other 49. Right? But now we have a situation where there are just 5 media conglomerates controlling 90% of the market. And the president can literally hold out his hand and say, we got Colbert, Kimmel's next, and now it's Fallon and Myers, right? So people need to understand that this has been years in the making, and that consolidation not only is bad for free speech, when a couple people control what we watch on television, it also paves the way for this kind of censorship and overreach.
And we should note that when you say Fallon and Myers are next, the late night comedians on NBC, you're quoting him. I mean, he said
yes.
That. Yeah. But beyond
exactly
that,
right.
I think one of the things that people might need to understand, why Colbert first, why Kimmel next.
Right.
There are opportunities to squeeze these companies because of mergers that happened with Colbert.
That's right.
It's happening now with Kimmel and Disney and Nexstar. The reason it hasn't happened to the NBC guys is because their parent company isn't trying to merge with anybody right now.
That's right. So Richard Nixon actually did this, and there are actually tapes where he's saying, don't mess with my guys when it comes to their merger. We are now seeing that on steroids. And so what used to be a process that was supposed to protect the American consumer, make sure people had choices with respect to their media, with respect to their grocery stores, has been—
I mean, hold on now. It's crazy how y'all want to blame Trump. I mean, why not blame corporate interest? Let's be honest.
Hold on. This is fucking mighty rich to this guy that allowed a lot of different mergers go through. You guys can look that up on your own time. But he seems to be so virtuous and so fucking, oh, this is good, this is bad for the consumer. How many mergers did he allow? Just go ahead and look that one up on your own time. Anyway, so the idea that this is somehow targeted or whatever, there's only one side of media. So you want to talk about choice in your media and all this fun shit, but unless you portray the Democrat ideology, you don't get your voice out there. So what are we talking about choice in? Just choice of your favorite liberal? Is that what we get the choice of? We can have any color we want as long as it's liberal, right?
I mean, apparently to them. Let's see here.
Oh, but we allow Fox News to exist by the glory of God.
Oh, man. All right.
Basically been hijacked.
Shout out Monty.
To advance this president's agenda. And the one thing I will say is that this is years in the making, and Republicans and Democrats have created a legal system that kept on letting these companies get bigger. The Telecommunications Act in 1996 paved the way for each of these companies to gobble each other up more and more.
Yeah, and that's because a lot of these telecommunications agencies gave a lot of donations to Republicans and Democrats alike. Alvaro Bedoya, thank you so much. Come back soon. Good insights. We appreciate it.
All right, now let's go ahead and get over to, let's get over to some Anton Daniels. Let me react to these guys real quick. I used to be a Democrat, and now I realize they are evil. So let's go get over to the sensible Dems who are coming to the light. All right, I'm just playing, but come on, guys. Let's be real. You guys have been acting pretty crazy lately.
I am done with the Democratic Party. You guys are psychotic. I've been a Democrat my entire life. I'm 43 years old, and I've never been more humiliated and embarrassed to be part of something. You guys are the most racist, hateful, bigoted, nasty group of people I've ever had to commingle with. And it's not all, just to be clear, but it's the majority of you guys. The left has lost their minds. What I've witnessed over the last 72 hours has been an absolute disgrace. Disgrace. You guys want to sit here, you want to abort babies at 9 months, you want to leave the borders wide open. New York City is an absolute disgrace. You have no idea what's going on in Manhattan. It's disgusting. Disgusting. It's not even livable anymore. I can't wait to get out of here. We have people that are getting set on fire in New York City subways, not once, but twice. The stores are being looted. People are being pushed in front of the trains. The streets are filled with piss and weed. And I swear to God, I hope—
And rats. Piss, weed, and rats.
New York City single-handedly flips the entire New York State red. Because I am done. I am done.
I am seeing more and more videos in my algorithm, not even from people sending it to me in my email, but from—
But I mean, are you surprised, honestly, when you've been with the libs all your life, and you've been in the liberal city all your life, and you see how they failed you in every way, shape, or form, you kind of start to wake up to what's going on with the Liberal Party or the Democratic Party. It's like, okay, you guys got all the rhetoric in the world, but you guys can't fix no problems. Okay.
I'm done. I am done.
I wanted Bernie Sanders to be president, but when Bernie Sanders was not nominated to be the president-elect, I accepted the fact that Hillary Clinton was going to be president. I was really sure about it. I was so excited that Hillary Clinton was going to be president. And then when Trump won, I thought the country was over. I cried my eyes out. I thought women were losing their rights and this country was being overtaken by white supremacists. When Black Lives Matter was happening, I fought ferociously for Black Lives Matter. And anyone in my life who did not stand for Black Lives Matter and did not make it a huge part of their identity, I thought they were a racist, neo-Nazi piece of white supremacist shit. And I wanted nothing to do with them. I let people go in my life because they didn't stand for Black Lives Matter. When COVID was happening, I thought
I
anyone
mean, damn, what about the black people who didn't stand for it?
who did not get vaccinated, who did not wear a mask, who did not do the things that the CDC said was a monster. And they hated everyone, and they did not care about anyone but themselves, and they wanted all the vulnerable and the sick to die, and they were selfish pieces of shit.
It's crazy how when you look back at your life and you try to make sense of some of the decisions that you was making and you realize how wrong you are, it kind of hurts your heart. And
Man, shoot, looking back at my past liberal ways, I look back and I'd be like, God damn, I was honestly a conceited know-it-all. And two, I was wrong as hell while being a conceited know-it-all. I mean, two of the worst combinations ever. And that was me being on the liberal side, thinking that every position I took was from the moral high ground, so I can never be wrong. Trust me, I know where you guys are coming from.
you kind of start looking at the people around you funny. And it's like, you knew better. Why would you why would you sell me on this? Why would you push this on me? Now, we all have responsibility and ownership. So when you know better, you're supposed to do better. But you just kind of like get upset at the fact that things went the way that it went, and it wasn't supposed to go that way because we should have known better. We should have been taught better.
I did not want Trump to win this presidency. I did not think that was a good choice for our country. I'm not going to get into that right now. But my point with all of this is saying I was once left. I was once a liberal. And all the liberals in my comments yelling at me and screaming at me, I understand. I was once one of you. I once treated people the exact same way that you're treating me. And I know you're doing it because you feel like anyone who disagrees with you is completely wrong and they're a monster. And how could they not be left leaning? And like, I get it. I was one of you. I do understand. So I sympathize with all of these people who are in my comments calling me the most heinous things in the entire world because I was once one of you. I once did the same things. And there's no reasoning with these people. There's nothing you can do to change their mind. They have to just like wake up themselves and realize like they've been manipulated, they've been brainwashed. And
that's the realest junk that I done heard somebody say. And that's why I say a lot.
Man, and that is crazy. Yo, Galactic. You good?
Hey, what's up?
That's
I'm
all
having trouble
good.
with my mic here. One sec.
Yeah, man, look, you and Monty both. It's all right. But I know you want to talk about this whole Jimmy Kimmel stuff. I do want to get your thoughts on it.
I mean, you were right earlier. There is another, what do you want to call it? Like a media conglomerate trying to buy another one, you know? So they want to get the best price for their product that they currently have. They want the sale to go through. And what do they need to make that sale go through?
I guess the Trump administration's acceptance. So it's more like corporate interest more played a line into this man's firing, to be quite honest.
Well, and also he hasn't been fired. He's been removed.
Okay, see, my bad. He's been
Yeah.
suspended. You're right. Suspended. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Suspended.
And I think I read an article earlier this morning. It was just a blurb. I didn't read the whole thing, but there's talk of ABC wanting to get Kimmel back on the air, but to tone him down a bit.
I mean,
personally, I think what he said about the MAGA, when he said that the shooter could have been MAGA, or no, he didn't say he could have been.
He said could. He said was MAGA for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, that could be wrong. We don't know all the evidence yet.
Oh no, it's a weak case. It's a weak case because he did not know for sure. He didn't.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
didn't just go out there and just lie on purpose. I will give him that.
I think the extra Discord messages hadn't been released when he said the things he said. Was it out of taste? I think it was. Was the joke about the reporter asking Trump how he is, and then Trump forgetting the question and going straight on to talking about building the ballroom a bit funny? Yeah, it was funny. I'm your Jessica Tarlov, remember? If you remember, you know Jessica Tarlov, the Fox.
Yeah.
Fox 5. Yeah, I'm your Australian Jessica Tarlov. Yeah, so there's that. But yeah, I mean, it's playing out. You know what I mean? You just got to let it play out. People that don't agree with it are not going to agree with it, and people that agree with it, that's their right to do as well.
Honestly, I respect that position. It's just that I can see where everybody's trying to drag in the Trump administration on this, but let's just be honest. If we look at the man's like ratings and all that good stuff, the fact that his bosses are trying to get a merger going, then this kind of plays more into corporate interest than them trying to
But do you know
please
what
the
his ratings are?
administration.
Do you know
Yeah,
what
they
his
were
ratings
actually
are?
showing it. His ratings actually been has actually been going down since what, like 2015, 2016?
Yeah, no, but but what's happened since then? Streaming, Twitch,
Good point.
Netflix, everything's gone crazy,
So,
right? Nobody watches TV anymore.
so to add on to that point, you're right, Galactic. Streaming, people are consuming medias in more ways. So anytime you have a decrease in supply, you're going to have, a decrease in demand, you're going to have to start cutting your supply. And why would you make yourself a target to be cut by saying horrible things before the man's body's even cooled? So that
Yeah,
just
no,
that is
I
kind of.
agree. It was a bad taste joke, and definitely not the time to do it.
I don't think it was even a joke. Like, we're giving him more credit than he deserves. He just flat out said MAGA's doing this. It wasn't even a joke.
That was wrong. But do you remember what the actual joke was, though?
It wasn't a joke. He said MAGA's pretending that this is anything other than a right-wing nut job that shot him, and that
Oh, you
was
talking about the
patently
joke
false.
about? You talking about the joke about mourning Charlie Kirk's death? I think you talking about that joke.
Oh, I didn't even see that one. I know it was like two different shows in which he was doing this kind of shit.
Yeah.
And
to rephrase it, well, to rephrase it, he kind of pretty much said that, well, Trump doesn't look too distraught over Charlie Kirk's death. He looked like he just got over the death of a goldfish. And I was like, oof.
Yeah.
I mean, all of that, I support his right to say all of those things, reprehensible or not. But what I don't support is arguing that he should be given a platform. He doesn't own ABC News. It's not his property to desecrate. So if ABC decides that they don't want him because of the liability he's become, because of what he said, then, that's their right to fire him. Just like it'd be, if you employed somebody, it'd be your right to fire them.
He hasn't been fired.
No, he's just been taken off the air, and his contract's not going to be renewed.
His ratings he's number one ratings on that time slot for 18 to 40-year-olds.
But his ratings have been going down, Galactic.
But that's not
cut
relative when you talk. That's not relative when you look at the media landscape now.
Honestly, I think
he's
the best
still
is
making money. He's still number one for advertisers in that time slot for people that are 18 to 40. So when an advertiser looks at a TV slot and goes, I can reach the number one show, I can advertise on the number one show, and I know that 18 to 40-year-olds are watching that show, I'm going to advertise there.
Right, but that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant to the point, though, Galactic. He got fired, so ABC decided that it was work. He's not on the air, so they can't capitalize on his speech. Like,
so
he's
he'll
gone.
be back on the air, though.
He'll be back. You think they suspended him indefinitely, and you think he'll be back?
I think he'll be back on the air in a couple of weeks for sure. Yeah.
All right, so I can go ahead and give you guys a quick breakdown of Jimmy Kimmel's numbers real quick, because it says he has a decline in ad revenue and viewership.
Back on the air as well.
Yeah, but here's the problem, though. He has had pretty steep declines.
Then you agree that he should be on the air.
I mean, well, I'll say this: if he was fired for anything other than guidelines and their community guidelines and all that good stuff, then yeah, he should be let back on. But if they fired him because, well, one, he's not making enough money, and two, he broke their guidelines, then it is what it is. But if it's anything outside of that, and let's say they admit it, oh, well, we only did because the Trump administration said something about it, then okay, yeah, you're right. Go ahead and let my man back on. That's outrageous.
Yeah.
So, Galactic, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question then? If you think he's going to be back on in a week, was his freedom of speech violated then? Because he suffered no consequences, period, for what he said.
I mean, it was the network's decision to pull his show.
Right.
Again, if you look at an employer's right to do that, they're able to do that.
Yeah.
If his show is cancelled, then yeah, I think that is an attack on free speech in inverted commas. Because
Wait, why? So why is he allowed to be pulled by the network but not fired by the network? How is that an attack on free speech?
Okay, you're looking at a situation where a whole nation is, well, half of a nation is grieving somebody. And so you've got, as a network, you've got a duty to respect, to some degree, half of a nation's right to grieve.
So I don't even take it that far, Galactic. I believe he has the right to say whatever horrible thing. Like, but forget my opinion on it. I have the right to say whatever I want. You don't have the right to not
You
be
asked me
offended.
my opinion, right?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, regardless of how the nation is feeling about something, I place this squarely on the employer themselves making the decision.
Okay, but it wasn't. So, as you know, the Sinclair network and all of the other affiliate stations asked for him to be removed. So they have clout against the network that is producing the show, because they're
not going to buy his product anymore.
So they could also decide not to air the show on their affiliate network. They don't have to air the show.
So here, I mean,
they can pander to their audience. There's a whole audience out there that does like his show, as he's number one within that 18 to 40-year-olds.
If you're the biggest buyer of the content, you have a say in what the content is that you're buying. If I ask you to make me a bunch of red, white, and blue shirts, and you make me a bunch of green, yellow, and red shirts, I don't have to buy your shirts. And I can say I'm not paying you for those shirts.
Well, you can just buy the red ones and somebody else can buy the yellow ones. That's what an affiliate station does.
There's no one else that wants to buy. There's no one that wants to buy the yellow ones in this situation. There's no networks.
There is, because he's number one with 18 to 40-year-olds. So there's obviously other affiliate networks out there that will buy it.
Do you believe you have a right to somebody else's platform?
Well, I don't know. I haven't signed the contract with the network providing the service, so I don't know.
Right. So you don't. The answer is you don't have the right to somebody. You have the right to say whatever you want. I don't know what the laws in Australia are like, but in America, you have the right to say whatever you want, but you don't have the right to have your message broadcast.
Hold on here. I got to get one super chat. Shout out Misfit. She says, "Fam, hey, what's going on, Misfit? Appreciate you. I do see you there in the background. Just let me know when you're ready to come up." And also, shout out to my man CN for gifting 10 memberships. And if you were lucky enough to get one of those memberships, just go ahead and email me, and I'll go ahead and get you in on the Discord. And then also go ahead and let's get into Sid. Oh, yeah, I got you on that. Let's go ahead and get into Sid. Shout out my man Sid. He says, I just wanted to congratulate Trump for settling the war between Azerbaijan and Albania. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Sid. Okay, Sid. Okay. Oh.
I think that was a troll.
It was absolutely a troll.
Hey, he wrote it like it was on True Social.
He can troll all he wants as long as he's donating.
I mean, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
But, hey, ain't that the truth?
Absolutely.
Can we take 2 minutes for 1 second? I think there's a mod called Tony Montzana, and I was just wondering if that was you, Monty.
No, I am Medic 2020 or Montgomery Krause.
Tony Montzana, he regularly bans me. And I thought it was you.
Is that why you said don't ban me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't ban you.
But yeah. Anyway, I'm happy to get back to video. We can talk more later.
All right, sure, let's go. Because I was just reacting to this video, where we got a couple young ladies who pretty much regret being on the right. Well, not on the right, but the left. But you know what? Do you want me to go ahead and I can recap the video for you guys? So let's go ahead and hear them both out again.
I am done with the Democratic Party. You guys are psychotic. I've been a Democrat my entire life. I'm 43 years old, and I've never been more humiliated and embarrassed to be part of something. You guys are the most racist, hateful, bigoted, nasty group of people I've ever had to commingle with. And it's not all, just to be clear, but it's the majority of you guys. The left has lost their minds. What I've witnessed over the last 72 hours has been an absolute disgrace. Disgrace. You guys want to sit here, you want to abort babies at 9 months, you want to leave the borders wide open. New York City is an absolute disgrace. You have no idea what's going on in Manhattan. It's disgusting. Disgusting. It's not even livable anymore. I can't wait to get out of here. We have people that are getting set on fire in New York City subways, not once, but twice. The stores are being looted. People are being pushed in front of the trains. The streets are filled with piss and weed. And I swear to God, I hope New York City single-handedly flips the entire New York State red, because I am done. I am done.
You know, so funny. I mean, you know what, Galactic? I hope your liberals are treating y'all better than our liberals treat us. I really do.
I mean, we would be considered on the far left in the US, but we're actually like center left in Australia.
Nah,
like
in Australia, if you say some dumb shit like a liberal says here, they fucking just fight about it.
Yeah. No, I mean we usually just tell somebody they're a wanker. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
Oh, and there goes the ad suitability in Australia.
Hey, yeah, but then and this also comes down to like inequality. The inequality in America is a lot worse than it is in Australia. And you being a paramedic, Monty, you know about our health coverage over here. It changes the society when everybody has healthcare and everybody can have the job they want when they don't have to be keeping a shitty job to be locked into healthcare. It's a bit different.
I mean, there's reasons that your country is able to afford healthcare for all, and some of them are.
We pay tax.
No, it's yeah. How much of your income do you pay in taxes, if you don't mind me asking? Yeah, I don't care what income how much do you pay in taxes?
Well, I think for the first 30,000 Australian dollars, you pay zero tax.
Wow, that's better than here.
Nice.
So from $30,000 to $70,000 Australian, you pay. I think it's 30%. And then from 60, so this isn't like if I earn 150 that I pay the full amount in at 47%, I think it is. But
is that do you have the like state and local taxes, or is that just the Australian government as a whole? Like, I don't know how your is it states? Yes. Is it provinces? How does that work? I'm ignorant. Sorry.
No, that's okay. We have state taxes.
Okay. Is that adding them both together?
No, so we don't have state taxes like you have in the US. We have a national goods and services tax.
Yeah.
So and that includes which is 10%. That includes everything except fresh food and I think doctors, that type of thing. So you don't pay 10% on fresh food.
Well, Galactic, actually, it seems like you guys are about to go through another tax drop, pretty much, is what I'm hearing.
I'm not sure. We've got a leftist government at the moment.
And then if you don't mind me asking, because I also am ignorant to this, I'm also ignorant to this. How many people are make up your population?
29 million?
We've got, I think it's 25 to 30 million now, maybe 30 million.
Right. So here's where I draw the comparisons, right? 25 to 30 million is literally just the city of Los Angeles.
No, I'm aware of that. But
So
that's not just
so it becomes a lot harder, especially with like the bureaucracy that's kind of needed to implement these things. It becomes a lot more expensive, and 47% tax. I'm sorry, man. That is a lot of tax. That means if you're making $150,000, you maybe see $80,000 of it. That's wild.
No. So no, you're only paying 40% on the income you earn over 70,000.
Right. Yeah. So if you make $150,000, maybe you see. Now I'm adding the progressive income tax system to that in my calculation.
Yeah.
It's not. Half of it would be 75,000. So 90 to 95,000 is what you actually see. That's insane. You give the government $50,000, $50,000, and you get healthcare that's worth $6,000.
No, man. We get roads, we get healthcare, we get
we get roads too.
We get fires. You know,
we got all that shit. Our shit's not burning down.
Have you taken a good hard look at yourself recently?
I'm driving on one of the longest interstates in the world right now. One of many in the U.S. Huh?
What condition is it?
What condition? It's not bad. I mean, it's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
I can
I
share my screen if you want. Take a video.
I'm not going to hate on the USA, man. I lived there for 2 years. I love the place. So
if we're going to compare roads, we have to compare an Australian inner city road to an American inner city road. Then that'd be fair.
Yeah. Yeah, true. And I'm like, look,
is there an inner city?
Not the point. Yeah. We got
right. The point is there's a lot more stuff to be built and a lot more bureaucracy to get through in America to build all of these things, and they do it.
Have you ever been to Germany? Have you ever been to Europe?
No, I have not been to Europe.
Okay, so Germany's got a population of 95 million.
And how?
You know, 1/3
and is it
of
not
the
older?
USA.
Is it not older than the USA? No, it does matter. How much time you have to get as good as you are does matter.
No, I mean, if you're the richest country in the world and you're the only country, the major OECD country that can't provide healthcare to its citizens, that's a problem.
No, so my point in saying all this is we spend about $2.5 trillion on healthcare, and there's still waste it's wasted. It's all wasted in bureaucracy. The issue is not money.
Wasted in bureaucracy. It's going as profits,
absolutely.
Bro.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it absolutely. So
it's all for profit.
The other $2.5 trillion, about 40% of that goes to profit. So all of the government money is spent, and then 60% of the private money is spent, and then the rest goes to profit. Like people deserve to make money for doing things, and the reason you can afford to have the healthcare that you have is because of the disparity in which your country pays and our country pays for things. It's a huge disparity.
But all right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and move on with the conversation on this note, and we're gonna go ahead and get with this last video. Then we're gonna close out, and we're gonna move into the next show. Man. But all right, let's close out on this video here.
So the reports broke last night, mostly, that there were multiple reasons why Jimmy Kimmel was pulled off the air. But chief among them was, not only was he not planning on apologizing when he was going to go back out on his show Wednesday evening, he was planning on attacking MAGA, attacking. My words are being purposefully twisted, he was planning on saying, per a report in the Wall Street Journal. See, it's our fault that we didn't understand that really he was supposed to be super supportive of MAGA. He wasn't pointing the finger at MAGA. Just a reminder for those of you who hadn't heard them, here's what he said on Monday night that caused the trouble. Sat one.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Unbelievable. I mean, like every word there was untrue. Like literally every word he said was false and an intentional smear. And the shooter had nothing whatsoever to do with MAGA, which he knew. And I'll tell you how I know.
I mean, okay, about to say, how do you know that? Because like that's why I said the FCC case was weak against him. Because how can we prove that he knowingly provided that information, knowing it was false?
Yeah, and we don't even know the whole situation with the shooter. I think everybody's jumping to conclusions there as well.
Well, in terms of his political affiliation, yeah, but now that everybody's trying to dig deeper into it, trying to call it a professional hit and all that good stuff, I'll agree with you on that.
It's sad. Shouldn't be like that. No, and yeah, like I mean, I didn't agree with everything Charlie said, but no mofo ever needs to die for their words ever.
Jimmy Kimmel has made perfectly clear in the past that he's factual. He's super factual. Is this a S.E.T, guys, or is this just a quote? But he got into his own little dispute with Aaron Rodgers, the football player, who had suggested Jimmy Kimmel might be on the Epstein list. And Jimmy Kimmel was very upset about that allegation. And Jimmy Kimmel went out on his show and said the following in January of 2024.
He decided to insinuate that I am a pedophile. This is how these nuts do it now. You don't like Trump, you're a pedophile. It's their go-to move.
Hey, what?
And it shows you how much they actually care about pedophilia. And as far as...
Hold on. I'm a bit confused. Usually, I think the criticism is if you support Trump, you're a pedophile. But I don't know. Maybe he's hearing something different.
Pedophile. It's their go-to move. And it shows you how much they actually care about pedophilia. And as far as the, well, you say things about people all the time argument goes, yes, I do. It's not the same. It's not even close to the same. We say a lot of things on this show. We don't make up lies. In fact, we have a team of people who work very hard to sift through facts and reputable sources before I make a joke. And that's an important distinction because the truth still matters. And when I do get something wrong, which happens on rare occasions, you know what I do? I apologize for it, which is what Aaron Rodgers should do, which is what a decent person would do.
So he is
that
what we
right
would
there,
call
they
in
can't
the
say
law.
that he didn't know what he was talking about. I mean, they pride themselves on being a truthful show. For God's sake, haven't you watched?
I mean, exactly. That's actually a good point, Misfit. He just sat there and said, what do you mean? I got lines of people to give me accurate information. So when I tell you something, I'm going on. The way he said it, when I tell you something, I'm going off.
He just went on a tangent. Yeah. So
he kind of shot himself in the foot.
They're idiots.
Fucking liar. Because he says he has a team of fact checkers that don't allow him to say lies, and that if he errs, he'll go out there and apologize and clear it up. But he was entirely wrong in trying to blame this shooting on MAGA and saying this shooter was affiliated with MAGA or one of theirs, and he knew it. And the reason I know he knew it is because he says he has a team of researchers that researches every fact before he says it on his show. And what we knew as of Monday night was that this shooter, while yes, he had Republican parents, do your parents, does their party registration dictate what you're going to be? Oh, if only.
Man.
If only.
I mean, man, if that was the case, then yeah, I'd be a liberal. But I think there was somebody in the chat going, well, he came from Republican parents. How is he not MAGA? I mean, the same way I came from liberal parents, and I'm not a liberal. I mean, it's as simple as that.
No, what matters is what were his politics. That's what we're looking for here, and most specifically, his motive. We know that this was a unaffiliated voter. That's how he was registered, this shooter. We knew that his own mother said that he had gone leftward. We didn't yet have the mother saying he had latched on to pro-gay and pro-trans ideology. That came another day later. Fine. But we knew that he was living with somebody who is transitioning male to female, that he, Tyler, was into, quote, furry culture, that the man he's living with was also dressed like a, quote, furry, with it, which is an anthropomorphic, I don't know, human/animal type character that people have weird sexual fetishes around. Don't go there. It's closely linked to the trans community. That's what you need to know. We know that the Utah governor had said he was driven by leftist ideology. We know that the bullet casings had leftist messages on them, like anti-fascist catch, here fascist catch, an anti-fascist song, and the notices bulges.
That was a gamer slogan.
OWO, which is another, it's a reference to furry culture. Once again, all of that, of course, spells leftist to anybody with eyes and ears and a brain.
I mean, honestly, him having a transgender partner was leftist as hell. I mean, like, just stamp it right there. Who else? Who else but a person on the left is having a transgender partner? Like, a conservative maybe, but they doing that in secret, though. I think we know that they know better. So, come on now. Can we just sit there and agree that this kid was on the left? Can we, guys? No? Yes, maybe so. Oh, I'm just playing.
And by the way, we didn't even have to.
Galactic, you still say we don't know? All right,
Yeah.
fair. All right.
Go that far.
Hold on. No. I'm not gonna accept that. That's a disingenuous argument. So if he had a fucking "Make America Great Again" hat on, would you say he was on the right?
I would say I still don't know.
You'd say you still don't know. Okay, so did Melissa Hortman's assassin, was he on the left or on the right?
I believe he's been prosecuted, yeah?
Was he on the left or on the right? I didn't ask if
believe
he's
he's
been
been-
prosecuted.
Yeah, so I'm holding my judgment until the court case is underway and we got more evidence.
The court case isn't going to tell you what his opinions are. You can only deduce that
it'll
based off
come out. It'll all come out in evidence.
What? No, it won't. This guy's opinions aren't going to come out in evidence. Like the entire left community unilaterally said that this was MAGA that did this, and is continuously drawing those parallels as if MAGA did it. Which there's evidence to support that MAGA didn't. This guy wasn't MAGA; that he was a Democrat. But yet it's overwhelmingly because it was a Democrat lawmaker, so it must be MAGA. Well, this was a conservative talking head, so it must be the left.
I mean, all evidence points to it being the left. Don't get me wrong there, but
I'm glad you can admit that. I'm glad you can admit that. I thought for a second you were living in a delusional land and like just refusing to see the evidence. But if you acknowledge that, then absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, none of that evidence has been proved in court yet either. So.
Fair.
I mean, the anti-fascist
speculation.
It doesn't need to be proved in court. They showed us the pictures of the fucking the rifle and the rounds with the anti-fascist memorabilia in it, and the note that he left. Like there is this thing called the court of public opinion, and
but the court of a public opinion means nothing, Monty.
Oh, really? So my opinions don't matter?
No, they don't when it comes to a court case.
It's not a court case, it's an assassination. The court case is just the consequence fucking to the assassination. This guy what? I'm not allowed to be mad at the dangerous rhetoric that the left has put out for years and years and years, and that has culminated to someone being assassinated with all evidence pointing towards that. I'm just supposed to sit down, shut up, and let it be, right?
No, you can be mad at that, but then you also have to look at the statistics and see that the majority of political crime has been committed by like right wingers. So
except it's not. That has been disproven like 1,000 times already because that's what the left keeps saying.
Show me the.
All right, guys.
Go ahead, Seth. Bring it up.
I'm gonna get in between this. I gotta get in between this, guys.
Go ahead. He has it rolled up.
We're gonna go ahead and get back to that one, but I guess we'll have
No. This needs to be snuffed out.
Well, honestly, he's being pretty fair with his criticism, I'd say.
That the right is the one that portrays the violence?
Well, I would say this. He's working with the information that the liberals, honestly, that the left gave.
No. So there's a Cato Institute.
Yeah, but the problem with that one is that they didn't account none of the political violence that happened during BLM I mean, there's a lot of things that the left did that was considered political violence that they did
It's
not
called
count.
skewing the numbers. They skew the numbers so that you have
Yeah.
talking points to believe.
Oh,
They
so what? Let's
literally
go
took
by.
over a city blocks and didn't do anything. Like,
I mean, they executed a man,
Yes.
Antifa, and it was never reported. I mean, they didn't count that as political violence, but it definitely was. So we're not saying that it doesn't happen on both sides. We're saying
here's
that
the thing: when you
one
fail
side-
to acknowledge,
one side, it gets a spotlight on the. If it happens on the right, there's a spotlight on it. If it happens on the left, it gets a blanket thrown over it. But go ahead.
So if it happens to someone on the right, we don't know what caused it. If it happens to someone on left, it's right-wing violence. Is that what you're saying?
No, not at all. Like I'm saying, there's violence from both sides. I'm just saying the majority of it.
And it's
is,
asymmetrical on the left. The left believes overwhelmingly that violence is okay. The right believes that fucking underwhelmingly it's asymmetrical.
Yeah.
It's asymmetrical.
I'm relying on sources and
that agree with you. That's the problem. You're relying on sources that agree with you, which is it's reaffirming your own biases.
Why would a right-wing institute write a report that disagrees with its own?
It's definitely
rhetoric?
not true that the violence is coming from the right more often. It's just not.
I was actually looking at
I believe most of the right
respectfully
just want to
disagree,
defend
yeah.
themselves.
But all right, guys. All right, now I do want to hear from Zoloff. How you been, brother?
What up? How you
Oh
doing, brother?
shit, Zoloff's up in the chat.
All right, so I do want to hear from you, Zoloff. What you think about this?
Well, it's funny because I was actually just looking at statistics on this today, and you know how many crimes that happen in the United States where it'd be like a Hispanic person or a black guy, and they attack somebody or something like that, and then they'll actually label it as a white person in the statistics. And there's a lot of examples of that all over in liberal cities, so they can fudge the statistics and make it out to look like white men are doing a lot more crimes than they actually are. Just looking at this today. I mean, I don't have the statistics right here with me, but I can look it up.
Not to mention, hold on. You're right, Zoloff. I'm glad you brought that up. Remember Trayvon Martin? Remember Trayvon Martin?
Is right-wing violence as well.
So remember Trayvon Martin, the black gentleman that was shot by George Zimmerman, a Mexican?
Yeah.
That they said was a white guy?
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean. It's a clearly Mexican guy, and they're blaming it on a white guy. So
And
that's
they'll
where
call
your
it right-wing
statistics come
violence
from.
then. And it comes exactly from there. And they call it right-wing violence. And just about any time it's some race-on-race crime, and they'll paint it out to be that as well, just to fudge their statistics up.
Yep. Same thing they did with Kyle Rittenhouse. There's so many leftists that still believe that he went out and shot at black individuals, and it's not. Every person, it was all a bunch of white guys. And they got up in arms saying that he was out there hunting. And it's like, are you kidding? You kidding? Everything they do is skewed.
Oh yeah, and even when they, that pro-Palestinian guy, pretty much was bombing Josh Shapiro's office. Yeah, they counted that as he was on the left, but it counted that as Islamist activism. So let's be real. You guys kind of got a good cover. I mean, you guys can get hit under foreign nationalism or Islamist. Like you could pass that. Like instead of calling it left, you could call it one of those, and it will still be right.
Yep.
Well, so
Every
they
time.
talk about left and right all the time, but left to them is Hitler because of the literal sense. He sat on the left side of the stage with the French king, and then Stalin sat on the left. But that because he's a nationalist, one of like a dozen different policies. I really don't like the term being right, but I use it to try and just be normal conversation. The right is Hitler, sure, because he sat on the right side of the King of France. It has nothing to do with nationalism specifically. He was still a socialist. He said gun control. He had identity politics. Social programs.
Wait, Maine, hold on now. Whoa, man. Can I say that?
Did I get off topic? Did I go too far?
A little bit. But I do want everybody to pay attention to the screen and, somewhat take in what Maine said. But let's pay attention to the screen. And this is what these guys are talking about. This is the Cato Institute graph right here. Murders in politically motivated terrorism, including 9/11. So I guess that's where this 3,000 number comes from. But pretty much this is where they're getting it from right here. So they summed it up all together, and out of 3,597 deaths, this is the numbers of this is the numbers of how they were politically taken out. And right now we got foreign nationalism. They did 0%, 8 deaths, but 0% compared to Islamism. That comes off at 3,000. The left 65, the right 391. Separatism, the separatist movement 4, and unknown or other 9. So you guys kind of see how they pulled like 35 or about almost 3,600 deaths, and now they're just saying that out of all those, the right's the most violent one.
This is such one except for this year.
It got a good amount of data source because it does say
it's all about how they classify the criminality. If somebody gets off of the charge, then they don't count it as the right, or they don't count it as the left, whatever. The fact is they count the violence that the left does as right violence even. So
not to mention the fact that the left committed violence against Donald Trump, and they're never gonna count the fact that Thomas Matthew Crooks was prosecuted because he wasn't. He was shot, but that statistic is seemingly just gonna fall out of there.
Yeah.
Hang on, Monty. It wasn't the kid that tried to shoot Trump was a Republican, yeah?
No.
No.
Now, guys,
stop listening to your liberal media sources. He donated to Act Blue.
Yeah, now let's go down into the murderers in politically motivated terrorism, excluding 9/11. And
notice how we never hear from him.
If you want to remember
about that shooter.
You want to remember every political shooting that way you can, because it's always labeled as right wing until proven otherwise.
Yeah, and it's always proven to be left. Every assassination attempt of a United States president or assassination that was successful was always a Democrat against a Republican.
I don't know that. Don't know that one.
What about Kennedy? Kennedy was a Democrat, but he was also attacked by a socialist or a communist. My bad.
All right, guys, but no, I did look all the way through this, and you know what? Here it is: murder since 2020, political motivated terrorism since 2020, and this is the numbers that we got right now. Out of 79 deaths, of course, majority of it is on the right, is what they're trying to frame it as with 44, the left 18, Islam 15. Out of 79, I guess. If
79 lives.
That sounds
that's not really what I'm kind of shrugging to. I'm just wondering how did they pull the crime data? Like, from what pool?
Please tell me the 79.
And here's the thing, though. And here's the thing.
Tell me the 79 deaths at the right of
I would say
field.
this: all 44 of those deaths. Explain to me one by one how they were politically motivated. It's like, are they ever going to give me that type? Because you're pretty much framing. This is what the study's framing. 44 deaths since 2020 was because of right wing ideology. Can you explain to me how every 44 one of those was right wing?
Right died. 44.
And why is Islam separated from left and or right?
Because it is funny how the left is kind of taking on the Islamist stance, but it is what it is.
Hey,
but yeah, they are separate.
It looks a little different. I read this graph differently. I see that 44 people who are right-leaning died.
Really? Nah, it's pretty much saying that it's the right that committed these 44 deaths. Like, the 44 deaths right here is because somebody right-wing with the right-wing ideology did it. And they did it because of their right-wing, mindset or right-wing characters, or however
Yeah,
you
I
want to
might
say
be
it.
reading it wrong, but that's how it looks to me.
All right, well, yeah, that's pretty much what they're saying. And what I would want to ask is like, well, out of these 44 deaths, explain to me how each and every one of them was right wing. Like, I would love to know that. They're not going to give me that information. I know that for sure. But if you're going to sit here and tell me that they're committing, like, you know, that, oh, the right wing is committing most of the crimes, I would hope that you're able to give me a 1 all the way down to 44 each crime and how it was right wing motivated. If y'all can give me that, I'll shut the hell up. I'll be like, you know what, y'all got it. But I doubt it comes with that much detail. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Right. Let me check through it. But in the meantime, let's get back to the video.
Charlie Kirk got shot at one of the Charlie Kirk events. And you knew it was someone who hated Charlie Kirk because of his politics. That was obvious. Only left is trying to deny any connection to the shooter or his ideology or what infected his mind would deny that. So he knew because he had his team of fact checkers who knew all the things I just said, because I know them and I too am into facts. And I learned them from the same news sources he had access to or his fact checkers did, which is how I know it was an intentional lie that he told on the air on Monday night. And the other reason I know it was an intentional lie was by the time we got into Tuesday, we did hear from the mother. We saw the indictment. We saw all of the things that were alleged at that press conference, specifically with the mother saying leftist ideology, the gay thing, the trans thing, which we knew was just more evidence, but whatever. It got even more airtight. And here's what he did on Tuesday night. On Tuesday night, already the controversy had blown up. And what did he say? Did he go out Tuesday night to apologize, to say, I got it wrong, let me correct it? Well, let's listen in. S.E.T. 2.
Well, many in MAGA land are working very hard to capitalize on the murder of Charlie Kirk. The president and his henchmen are doing their best to fan the flames so they can, I guess, attack people on the dangerous left. Which is it? Are they a bunch of sissy pickleball players because they're too scared to get hit by tennis balls, or a well-organized, deadly team of commandos? Because they can't be both of those things.
Unfortunately, it can, and it is. You have a super big tent for wackos over there on the left. Jimmy, you do have weak-kneed, soy boy, skater, scooter types who, would much more likely be on the pickle court than the tennis court, but there's nothing wrong with pickle. And then you do have the Antifa types, and you have the radical types who absolutely would take a gun, lie down on a rooftop, and try to kill the next president of the United States. And by the way, that description applies both to Trump and to Charlie. Everyone knows Charlie was going to be president one day. You could see it just upon shaking the man's hand. It's your side, Jimmy, that does that. Yeah. And it's your side that's feminizing men right out of their non-toxic masculinity, out of their masculinity, period. So that was his message on Tuesday night. Tuesday night, he's still attacking MAGA as working very hard to capitalize on the murder of Charlie Kirk. We want to we're in mourning, you fucking asshole. We're not capitalizing on the death of Charlie. We're in mourning. You leftist losers are out there trying to blame us for his death, trying to disparage his legacy, and we're trying to correct you, and we're trying to correct the record. And for once, we're fighting back. That's what you're talking about. You're just not used to it. You've crossed a line that we're not willing to let you cross without a fight. We usually blow you lunatics off as a fringe who we can't even respond to rationally. But it's beyond that now. So we get to Wednesday, and Disney and ABC are now in meltdown because, according to The Hollywood Reporter, The Wall Street Journal, CNN, the phone lines were ringing off the hooks, both at ABC, at Disney, which owns ABC, of course, and at the affiliates, right? Because you've got the big ABC, like the headquarters where they make Good Morning America and all that. And then they have affiliates across the nation that bring you local news and so on. And they carry the ABC programming. They don't produce it. They kind of get it because they're ABC programs. And they have independent obligations under the law when it comes to the FCC and independent standards of taste and so on. And their phone lines were getting burned up too. And so they were upset. They too are feeling the vibe shift that we felt since Trump's election. And they've had it with this nonstop pinko commie leftist programming up and down their airwaves. From The View in the morning straight through to Kimmel in the evening. And don't even get me started on David Muir.
Then don't watch it.
And then you had Brendan Carr go on Benny Johnson's podcast and say, enough is enough. Like, these affiliates actually do need to take seriously their obligation of protecting the public interest when they decide what goes on their airwaves, and they should stand up.
Then don't show it.
It was him saying, look, we can do this the hard way or we can do this the easy way, which sounded like I will get involved if I have to, but he hadn't yet. He hadn't. He had used words saying hard way, easy way, we'll see. And then they all started calling ABC saying, we're out. We do not want Jimmy Kimmel. We're out. We're not airing him tonight. Yes, there was the one group, Nexstar, which does have a merger that it needs FCC approval on. Got it. But then came Sinclair. They don't have a merger. They felt exactly as Nexstar did. We don't want him. And we certainly don't want him going back out there. Now we find out. And not only tripling down on the message, but turning it into yet another attack on MAGA. He was going to attack MAGA again. He was going to go out there and say, my words are being purposefully twisted by MAGA. Here's how Elizabeth Wagmeister, reporter on CNN, described his plan.
Jimmy wanted to go on his show last night, and in his monologue, I hear that he wanted to address the backlash from the right regarding his commentary about Charlie Kirk's charged killer. And I hear that monologue was very hot. It very much took aim at MAGA. And that is when the executives said, we can't have him go on the air tonight.
He was going to double down.
Yeah. So Disney pulled the plug. They called.
AKA, they gave him a chance. Like, bro, look, just go out there, just say you're sorry, and it's all good, bro. Everything's all good. Make a couple donations to the family, good faith, and you're good. He said, no, F y'all, I'm about to double down on it. I'm about to double down on MAGA. Yeah. F these guys, they're being snowflakes. I'm pretty sure that's what he was thinking.
This goes back to what I was saying about it kind of being in bad taste while 50% of the population is grieving.
Yeah. Agree with you on that one.
Jimmy. They had been speaking to him for hours saying, could you please tone it down, you complete loser? Those are my words. And he wouldn't. So you know what?
I could see it like this. They're like, yo, Kimmel, please, bro. You don't got to go out like this. And he's going, no, man, F these guys, Mac. I'm going out there and I'm about to double down. I'm like, Kimmel, bro. Like, they're already pissed off at you. Like, we got the bosses on the line. Don't do it, Kimmel. And he's just like, I'm standing on business. And they're like, all right, you got to go.
I'm going kamikaze.
Yeah,
for a couple weeks.
Yeah, like, just chill out.
They said, you don't own ABC, you don't own Disney, and we are indefinitely suspending you until you can get your shit back together. He's not fired. We actually don't know how this is going to end. And that is the series of events that has led to the leftist meltdown now. And literally t-shirts, we're all Jimmy Kimmel. I am Jimmy Kimmel. As though they've lost, like Charlie, they're actually equating their loss of Jimmy Kimmel on his loser show, which no one watched, to our loss of Charlie Kirk. These people are sick.
They're monsters. They're
inflation jumps.
See, using terminology like that isn't right.
Well, so calling us a Nazi and calling us fascist isn't right either, but I don't see you jumping on that bandwagon.
No, because I don't believe it.
But do you condemn that?
I do in some degree, but also does that mean you condemn JD Vance for saying that about Trump?
He backtracked. He said, I was wrong. That's wrong for me to say. Has on the left?
Okay for them. It's okay for him to say it.
I mean, it wasn't right for him to say what he did either. Stop the
but Jimmy can't backtrack, can he?
Hold on, Galactic. Come on now. Let's be honest now. If he'd have backtracked, it had all been good, but he was going to double down.
He wasn't given the opportunity. Who knows?
Oh, well.
It's all hearsay. It's all hearsay.
Dude, and dancing, that is demonstrable behavior. Hold on. No. They were celebrating and dancing about it in the streets. That is demonstrable behavior. They are monsters. I'm not going to parse words here. They are horrible human beings.
Some far leftists are stupid. Yeah, let's be honest.
No,
It's on both sides,
not
man.
stupid. They're not stupid. Stop this both side bullshit. No one on the right fucking celebrated when Melissa Hortman got shot. No one on the right fucking celebrated any other fucking act of violence. It is only the left. We condemn people. You celebrate them. There's a difference.
Well, who made a joke about who made a joke when Nancy Pelosi's husband was bludgeoned with a hammer? Who made a joke when Nancy Pelosi's Who made a joke when Nancy Pelosi's husband
Why are you trying to quote aboutism? Was it all of Facebook? Was it all of everybody celebrating? Or was it one fucking person in bad taste? This is a mainstream evil. Not one fucking person making a comment in bad taste. That's what you want. You want to compare the whataboutisms to justify the fucking evil shit that the left, not just one person on the right, the left in entirety is doing. Now you're defending it, which in my mind makes you no better than them. So now you're a monster.
Every left-wing news organization denounced the killing of Charlie.
And my fucking daughter's name is fucking. What does that have to do with anything? Of course they are, because of course.
Even Jimmy Kimmel said that the killing of Charlie Kirk was crazy.
Galactic. Listen, bud. Do you watch American left-wing news at all? Because, dude, their rhetoric caused Charlie Kirk to be killed in the first place.
No, I would say that Charlie's own words caused him to be killed.
It's so stupid to even argue that, dude.
No, get the fuck out of here.
Monty, your mic is so fucked, dude. Monty, your mic is so bad, homie.
You said a whole bunch of crazy stuff in a country that has a whole bunch of guns and people with mental health problems.
Where do you even live, bro? Like, who the fuck are you, bro? Where's your opinion come in? Where do you live, buddy? You live
I lived in the United States for 2 years, and I'm an Australian.
Oh, okay. So what the fuck do you have an opinion on this for? Who really gives a shit what you got to say?
And this is the way that Charlie Kirk got himself shot? Are you fucking serious?
Well, because you're not in America, dude.
All right, guys, hold on now. Let's try to have a reasonable conversation here. Let's have a reasonable conversation.
There is no reasoning with evil set. There's no reasoning.
Well, hold on now, guys. I don't even think Galactic came off like that. In his defense, I don't even think he was trying to come off like that. I think we might have jumped to conclusions.
Charlie's words got him shot? Really?
Galactic, did you say that? I don't think so.
Yes, he said that. Yes, he did.
All right, well, Galactic,
he said the left didn't cause this. Charlie's own words caused it. Yes, he said that.
I'm saying
that's what got everybody up in arms.
When you say a whole bunch of divisive stuff, right? I'm not saying he deserved to die.
Like what? Men shouldn't fucking, or women shouldn't kill their babies? That's so divisive.
Wait. Hold on, dog. So you're pretty much saying that if you say divisive things, then you should have to worry for your life?
I didn't say that.
That is exactly what you said. Charlie got himself shot. That's what you fucking said.
Listen, he didn't go.
Charlie got himself
that wasn't
shot.
his point. Listen, when he went to those college campuses, he had all kinds of conversations with those kids. All kinds of conversations. He was open to debate with anybody. Anybody that did not agree with him, he would bring to the front of the line. Hold on, he was not out there preaching hate or this. He wasn't. And anybody who thinks that he was misses his entire fucking message. The point, you missed it right over your head. And that's exactly why he was out there doing what he was doing. Because this country has lost the ability to have common discourse with people that they don't agree with. And to say that him going out there and saying things that people didn't agree with, saying he was being divisive, is what brought this upon him, is an absolute crock of shit. Because here in the United States, we have free speech. He wasn't out there inciting anything. He was out there having a conversation, and the man was shot down because his words were hurting feelings. I'm sorry.
And what you said too is that in a country where a lot of people have guns and they're easily influenced to go do things like that, that's our point. Is that right-wing news? I've been watching Fox News for like the past couple of years, dude. Not once have I ever heard them say, it's kind of pushing violence. I've heard so many Democratic senators be like, get out there and get in MAGA's people's faces, go show them who's boss, that kind of bullshit. Like that's exactly what we're talking about.
All right, guys, I do want to show Galactic. Galactic, did you hear about the YouGov study?
I haven't seen it. No.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I got it pulled up for you. So they did a poll and they asked, and then here's the poll: most Americans across the political spectrum say political violence is never justified, but younger and more liberal Americans are more likely to disagree. So they asked them, do you think it's ever justified for citizens to resort to violence in order to achieve political gains? And here's the problem. According to their political ideology, the more liberal you are, the more likely you are to accept that type of thinking, or it's okay to commit political violence. As you see, the very liberal left, even though it's a small minority, which is 25%, which is still a little scary, but 25% of them think it's okay. The normally liberal 17%, moderate 9%, conservative 6%, very conservative 3%. So it does look like that party is a bit more aggressive. So when you sit there and say he had divisive rhetoric, I'm like, that should never be an excuse to look out for your life, because you guys have all the divisive rhetoric in the world, and nobody shot at your y'all favorite political pundits at all.
Unless they were also left and just confused.
Well, all I'm gonna say is my man Cenk ain't got shot, thank God. Sam Cedar ain't got shot, thank God. And I don't know what Brian Taylor.
That's the issue. That's why when I lash out this fucking hard, because he is closer to that than fucking people realize. Oh, you should get shot for, maybe you brought it on yourself if you say divisive things. You just label something as divisive and give an excuse for violence. That's what you just did. Whether you'll admit it or you'll backtrack it or not, that's what you just did. And that is what's wrong with the left.
I'm gonna say this. He said that the Civil Rights Act should never have been signed.
Out of context.
He said that.
Dude, quit taking one-liners out of his fucking context.
I mean, hold on now, guys.
So if we want to have why are you offering that up? Other than
we can have this talk without.
I'm giving an example of divisive rhetoric that he offered.
You're giving an example of a reason
why it wasn't divisive.
I'm giving a reason why he put himself in danger. Do I think that he deserved?
Hold on. He put himself in danger for disagreeing with civil rights. That's your belief.
Oh Lord. And see, that's the difference between Australia and our country.
Disagree with civil rights.
We are allowed to have free speech.
Now
we're allowed to have free speech.
No, guys. I think we need to. Well, now you're right. We are allowed to have free speech, but also, Galactic, I think you need to look up the entirety of the conversation before you make those statements, because it does seem like there's a Trump-like campaign going on with Charlie Kirk's message. Like in the beginning where they just clipped Trump up and made him sound like the most white supremacist racist you'd have never heard, just off the clips. They're doing the same thing with Charlie Kirk. So I would hope that you would look up the full conversation.
Because they want to fight murder.
Yeah, and then let's be honest, they are taking it out of context because they do want to justify the murder. Well, we feel bad, but he was against civil rights. He said bad things about trans, blacks, this and that and the third, when that's not true. Just like how they try to flame Trump as a racist or Trump as a white supremacist lover every time, just off clips.
Yeah, I saw one where Charlie Kirk said that you shouldn't have empathy, but you should have sympathy. And the left-wing news was cutting it up to make it look like you're saying you shouldn't have empathy, and cutting it to another part where he says some other shit.
Yeah, but that comment he made, we should have sympathy for them. Why would you supposed to have sympathy for them? Because you think that there's something wrong with them.
I don't know. We can't ask him anymore because they killed him. Charlie would have loved to have a conversation with you about him, but he can't because they shot him.
Let me answer that. Hold on. I need the floor for a second. He asked that question. He said, because empathy is being weaponized to get people, to gaslight people into believing things, and sympathy and compassion are much better than empathy. That was the full context of what he's saying. So maybe you should go watch something before you fucking make comments that are fucking outlandish as fuck. All you're doing is parroting everything the left has given you to parrot. Stop it.
You know what?
He also said that he would force his 10-year-old rape victim daughter to.
You see,
to
why
take
are you
the
offering?
Hold on now. Wait. Time out, everybody. Time out. I actually remember that conversation. I remember that conversation.
That's on video, man.
I know. The lady asked him, so you think it's okay for a woman to keep a great baby? He said that
daughter,
yes.
His 10-year-old rape victim daughter would be
If she
forced
was to get
bring
great,
the child to term.
Yeah, because he's standing as being consistent. He believes that the life is separate from the crime. Now, now let's be honest. In the terms of a Christian understanding, that's just to be consistent with their belief. Let's be honest. So you can't get mad at him for having that stance.
Hold on. Why? Hold on. Why are we trying to argue with people that are trying to justify somebody's murder?
Yeah, that's such a stupid thing to say, dude.
I don't think he's justifying it, to be honest. I think he's just trying to say, well, he had divisive rhetorics, and are you guys saying that he didn't? I don't think Galactic is trying to justify his murder.
So what? So what? He deserved to get shot? What is the so what after that? So
He's
what?
trying to justify the reasons. He's trying to justify the reasons he was murdered.
Yeah, because there are crazy people out there with guns.
Oh my God.
And now
he's trying to glorify murder. He is.
It's guns. We have guns.
No, I'm explaining why it happens.
All these people.
I'm explaining why it happens.
Donald Trump being some kind of dictator, Nazi who's going to take over the world, and then they're going to say, "Oh, you need to take away your guns." What are you talking about?
No, nobody said that. All
sense.
But all right,
some people believe that there should be background checks for gun owners.
We just mute him for a minute.
But all right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and close it.
Bro, this guy's a fucking idiot. No, he's a fucking idiot. He just said there should be background checks for guns.
Like somebody to
Obviously, you've never bought a gun in America, dude. So shut the fuck up.
No, hey, we like a different opinion. But we
not when he's a fucking idiot. No, he needs to fucking learn something about American culture and American history before he comments on something like guns.
Well, just
because his government took all his guns away doesn't mean that fucking
questions about America.
Whoa, Monty, bro, he lived here for 2 years, bro. Come on, man, relax, dude.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
And also, we can still get guns in Australia. I got a.
Oh yeah, I bet you can.
Permit.
I've got a 12 gauge shotgun back home on my dad's farm.
The government gave him permission, guys.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
That doesn't work in the United States. We have 400 million guns. The 30% of guns that Australia took of 4 million population of guns, it doesn't compare to the United States gun thing. United States.
I mean, it's a totally different situation. I get that.
Are you going to take 400 million guns?
Yeah, I mean, if the government's buying them, think about all the people that would sell their gun.
See, that's what you miss. That's what you miss about
what
American.
About going back to
hold on, Galaxy.
Sorry,
hold on, Galaxy.
Yeah, I'll let you speak. Sorry.
The reason why Americans have been so armed for so long is because it's part of our duty as an American citizen to have a well-regulated and well-armed militia in order to fight against a tyrannical government.
Yeah,
whether it be domestic or foreign.
Yeah.
So if they want to take our guns, knowing that our country is built on that fact that we have them to protect us from them, and now they want to take them, you think we're that dumb? Some of y'all might be, but some of us have been paying attention for a very, very long time, sir.
My family's
So,
But hold on, guys. Now I do got to get to this super chat right here, and shout out to my man Abba Rivera. He says, "Somebody please tell this fool what Charlie said to dismantle the grape argument in the same video. If anybody remembers about the 2 ultrasounds, and yes, I do. If I held up 2 ultrasounds, would you be able to tell which one's the grape baby? No.
Is this the one where he couldn't tell a dolphin from a fetus?
Nah.
No, you fucking dude.
No. Okay, no. Actually, hold on. Everybody, I'm just gonna go ahead and explain it right here. Then I got you. Whoops, wrong one. But I got you. So, like I said, Charlie Kirk's argument about the whole grape baby thing is that the life is separate from the crime. Rape is a terrible crime, but doesn't mean that the life created within that terrible crime is a bad thing, is a bad person. Like the baby, just because it's a great baby doesn't mean it's automatically could come out and be evil or do anything crazy. So it's like you guys are villainizing a life before it's even born, and you're condemning it to death before it's even born. But the thing is, though, if I was to
what a horrible device to take.
Now, if I was to hold up 2 ultrasounds in front of anybody, and I told you which one is the great baby, and there's one, and I'm telling you, there's a great baby in here for sure, but which one is it? You wouldn't be able to tell me because they both look the same, because they are both a human life. So,
there's another argument. There's another side to that argument,
and I don't care what it is. I don't even care what Charlie Kirk's argument
Monty,
was.
why not listen, man?
Because you don't listen. You don't listen, and you're trying to justify and to give other ideas as to why this guy was murdered, other than pure evil and pure hatred. You're justifying it, and I'm not going to allow you to. I'm not going to.
I never justified it.
Dude, by you saying these things, you are justifying it, whether you accept it or not. No. I just want to give every rise to doubt about anything that he's ever said and give the whataboutisms after he's been murdered. That's all you're doing. You're giving rise to violence. Yes, it is whataboutisms. What about this time he said this? What about this time he said this? He's dead. Shut up. Your rhetoric killed him.
All right,
disagree.
Guys. All right, we'll leave it at that.
You can disagree, but he's dead. And your rhetoric killed him.
I agree with Monty.
All right, fighters, back to y'all corners, guys. All right, back to the corners, guys. We're going to go ahead and end it on this note, and we're going to show up for round 2 later on around, I believe, 1 o'clock. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and take some time to cool off, and we'll be right back in about an hour. All right, and shout out, guys. Shout out, great panel, great conversation, heated debate, and all that good stuff.
Stay in the Discord.
USA.
All right, guys.
USA,
see you guys next
baby.
Time. All right, double tap that screen, like the video, guys. Oh yeah, and appreciate you, Galactic, Misfit, Zoloff, Main, and Monty. Appreciate you guys.
Later,
guys. Today, modern AI is quite advanced, except 2 problems. It is censored and it takes your information. Well, it's hard to find a tech company that don't. But let me introduce you to one. Shout out to my sponsor, Venice AI, which allows you to protect your information and avoid censorship. Now ask yourself, why should a team of programmers at these leading AI apps be the ones to decide what is okay for you to ask and think? Also, would you be comfortable if the presidential administration could govern what AI tells you? Man, I know I wouldn't. But also, while you think about that, did you know that? Let me tell you this, it's gonna be crazy, but ChatGPT has a former director of the NSA sitting on their board right now, guys. And shout out to that man, Edward Snowden. He called this a willful, calculated betrayal of the rights of every person on Earth. And we all know how Alexa is. Alexa listens to us and recommends products based on our conversations. I mean, talk about a violation of privacy. But guys, these are just a few reasons I decided to team up with Venice AI and get you a better options or solutions to your AI needs. Now, guys, you can go ahead and check these guys out with my promo code. So shout out to Venice AI. Now, if you want to use AI without fear of handing over your most intimate thoughts to a corporation or government, you can get 20% off a pro plan using my link, Venice AI SET, and use the code SET. Man, so shout out, guys. So make sure you guys use the code. Put it up one more time for you guys right there. Once again, guys, guys want to go ahead and have unleashed AI, uncensored AI, go ahead and tap in with my guys at Venice AI, guys. Hey, this is S.E.T and appreciate the support. And shout out to the sponsor.